Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is your guy, Scott. You know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and at BarberChat Scott. Follow the BarberChat Network at BarberChatNet on Twitter and Instagram. It is October 13th, 2023, man. We are live here from Los Angeles, California. We've got a nice show for y'all today. The whole crew will be here. We will be having Dante, Mikey, Bang, Courtney will be joining us as we got here. We're going to look at the first hour rundown. I'm going to have my sound off in a minute. Then we got the homie Ashley Nicole Moss. She will be joining us in a very, very hot minute. We're going to talk about that bullshit you saw last night with your Chiefs Broncos. Mikey will be here to break down his weekly parlay. Make sure we're going to get y'all money right for this week. Then we're going to break down everything in week 6, and then we're going to talk about the MLB playoffs, the American League, and the National League Championship Series about to kick off this weekend. We will also be doing our local hour, which you will hear us talk about our football team, the Chicago Bears. We're going to be previewing Bears and Vikings. Bears try to go 2 in a row for the first time, and shit, I don't even know how damn long at this particular point. So we gonna break that down in the local hour, man. So as we get this started, let me just get into my sound off, man. My sound off is going to be about respecting the Houston Astros. I know a lot of people don't respect the Houston Astros, you know, the cheating. I can't even call it allegations because them niggas did that shit. But you have to respect what they've done over these last couple years. 7 years, 7 straight American League Championship Series appearances. After just getting rid of the Minnesota Twins. And as a damaged White Sox fan, I thank you. But we need to go over here and appreciate the run that you're seeing right here of this run of 7 straight ALCSs. They've been to a couple World Series. They have 2 World Series. They're on the verge of trying to get their number 3rd. And you can say whatever you want to say, but the way the organization has been structured, you know, you go from everything you've had in the first reign, and now you've got Dusty Baker coming over in the second era, and they really still haven't lost any type of momentum that what they've been doing, man. So you got to give really all love to them, and everybody's looking for like the modern era, I guess you want to call it, or the modern Yankees. Even the 90s Yankees didn't do what these Houston Astros are doing. So you can love them or you can hate them, but the way they transition, they get rid of players. You know, they got rid of Carlos Correa. You know, they got rid of George Springer. You know, they got rid of different guys like that, but they still remained the same. You got some guys who've been there from the beginning, like a Alex Bregman, like a Jose Altuve. Justin Verlander has been around majority of this whole time, and he was gone majority of the season. We forget he's with the Mets. It's been that damn long since he's been gone. So he's been back, and now they're back in fold, and they're going to try to take on their state rival in the Texas Rangers, and we will preview that later on in the show, man. So my sound off is basically just respect the Astros. You might hate them or you might love them, but you gotta respect what they've been doing on that field, man. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start with our first guest, our guest of the show today. We've got the one and only Miss Ashley Nicole Moss is on the show.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? Long time no see.
Long time no see. You are a true friend of the program. This is your 3rd appearance on here, so we gotta give it up for that. So for people who don't know, if you've been under a rock, she is one of the co-hosts of Paper Route, which is on Mondays and Thursdays on the I Am Athlete YouTube. You're also on a Sirius XM radio, and you got a massive Twitter following. I can only imagine what your Twitter mentions look like just from the stuff that you retweet. I know it's hell. My shit is hell, so I know yours is like times 50. So,
right.
So tell me everything that's been going on with you.
I actually I don't know if you done like the whole, I don't know how the ramifications on like your mentions, like where you only see mentions from, I had to do that because mine were out of control. Like you.
Yeah. Let's see, we got technical difficulty here.
So I just had to make sure we put some parameters in place so I don't see every comment that comes my way. But I think with Twitter, I've gotten better at it as I've gotten older. Like, back in the day, I was quick
Yeah,
for a pop off. Like
exactly.
now it's just kind of like maybe you'll get 1 or 2 pop offs from me, and then I'm moving on with my day. I don't got time to be going back and forth with you all day. I'm not gonna do it.
Exactly.
So,
It's like you got better shit to do. Like, I feel like in the last year, really last couple months, mine has been like ticking up, and it's to the point where it's like it's annoying as hell, and really even more on our Bears podcast. I don't even look at those mentions no more. Like everybody be trying to tell me like, well, he didn't really. Justin did this. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm at the game. Like, how you gonna tell me? I'm looking at it. So you're right. You just gotta phase that stuff out. But thank you for joining me. Let's just get right into it. We all know that you're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. I cannot talk about how rough it is for y'all because it's way rough for me right now. We're not talking about me. How do you feel about everything that's been going on with the Cowboys this season? I know you've been very vocal about the heat that Dak Prescott has been going through. Tell me what you feel about everything going through with the Cowboys.
It's definitely not what I anticipated this season to look like, at least in the first 5 weeks. I always knew there was going to be some growing pains. My dog's going crazy right now. He doesn't like the Cowboys conversation. I always knew there were going to be some growing pains, with the offense. The defense was always going to be the most reliable part of this entire organization. But the offense and the lack of identity is something that I did not anticipate. I mean, the Cowboys, for better or for worse, you always knew what you were going to get offensively. It was a run-heavy offense. That was the identity. That's why they put so much money into that offensive line. That's why they've always paid their running backs so well, because that is who they are. I don't know who this offense is. And I think that's the biggest question mark. I know everybody will focus on Dak and things like that, but I think that the biggest question mark is, who is this offense? What is Mike McCarthy doing with this offense? And I know people will say, well, you shouldn't have gotten Cooper. Stop it. You shouldn't have gotten rid of Kellen Moore because you guys were number one when Kellen Moore was there. Right. But I think people also ignoring the fact we also had Amari Cooper. We had Ezekiel Elliott, who was still very much in his prime. It's been a lot of growing pains. So I'm very confused on what this Dallas Cowboy team is.
Yeah, I think just looking from an outsider's perspective, I know a lot of Cowboy fans, a lot of them, and I feel like there's always, as a Bulls fan, I feel like there's a comparison. Like, Cowboy fans are way more annoying than Bulls fans, but like we both have like that era in the '90s that I feel like to the main public, like we still look at that. Like if I see another Bulls highlight and I see Jordan, I'm tired of it. And I love Mike, but it's just enough. And it's kind of like the same thing with the Cowboys. It's like we keep thinking about them as Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman, Emmett, and all those guys. What do you think that the Cowboys can do this year? Because they got their ass whooped by the Niners, but I still think it'll be a good season for them. What can Dak do and just this offense in general to be able to get over that hump and just perform even just halfway decent so that their defense can be able to get them in win position?
You know what it is? I think that Mike McCarthy just needs to go ahead and figure out what the identity of this offense is and allow Dak to exist in that. I think you're asking him to do so many different things, and so many of those things are just not conducive to the type of player that he is. I think one of my knocks to Kellen Moore when he was there was that he was calling plays, I feel like, for the Dak pre-injury, and quarterbacks change their mentality. They change the way that they play the game, the tenacity in which they play the game, especially after a major injury like Dak went through. So how do you go ahead and highlight who he is, what he does well? Because I know the great thing and the fun thing is to go ahead and bash Dak Prescott, bash the Dallas Cowboys. That's what's popular. That's what's cool. That's what gets the clicks. But Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. Like, I know people like to go ahead and make the jokes, but he is a good quarterback. The first few years of his career were not a fluke. Even the bad years of his career, where he did do a lot of good things, but statistically wasn't his best, he's still a good quarterback. Tap back into that. Tap back what he does well and figure out how we can capitalize off that. The next 3 weeks of this season, when we play the Chargers, the Rams, and then the Eagles after the bye, I feel like we'll determine exactly who this Cowboys team is. The 49ers just had our number.
Yeah, and definitely. And I feel like even with the Niners, it's like I feel like once because both the Cowboys and the Niners have those very aggressive defenses to the point where, like, if you even make a play or two that's wrong, you're going to be out the game very early. It just felt like that game got a little bit away from the Cowboys. That's part on my Cowboys question. Do you think that Dak
A little bit, more like a lot of bit, but I'll give you that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I was being generous. Do you think that Dak has lost any confidence in his ability to lead this team?
No. I think Dak has a character where he's overly optimistic. Like you would think that somebody who's just been through so much in their life and it plays for the brightest football team in terms of media, just eyes and awareness and scrutiny would have some sort of a negativity in the air about them and a negative aura about them. And Dak is the polar opposite. I think that he still believes he's the leader for this football team, but I think more importantly, the locker room still believes that he's the leader for this football team. Like, I know people want to say, oh, Dak's not the guy. Those guys in the locker room wholeheartedly believe he's the guy. And I think that sometimes is more important than what you believe yourself. Because once you lose the locker room and the belief of the guys in that locker room, it doesn't matter if you think you're Tom Brady. If they don't think you're Tom Brady, then you guys are constantly like this. So even if Dak is not feeling his best, that locker room, that coaching staff, Jerry Jones, they believe in him. And that makes all the difference. And I think the Cowboys are going to be fine. It's week 6 now.
Yeah,
I think that we're the first month of football is always the oddest. Like the craziest things happen. Slow starts for really good teams. Everyone knows like October football, November football. That's when you start really breaking away from the packs.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the rest of the NFL. We had a conversation on the show last week, well, actually on Monday, about who we think is the best team in the NFL. We kind of all overwhelmingly said the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think it is the Niners? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles? Or maybe it's a team that we're not thinking about?
Bill Parcells famously said, you are what your record says you are, right? Yep. So the record says that the Eagles and the 49ers are the best teams in football. Now, will that be the case in week 10? Will that be the case in week 12, in week 15? I don't know, but right now they're the best team in football. I think obviously you can't ignore a team like the Chiefs, even though the games that they've been playing and how they've been playing is not, what you think when you think
it's called Matt Nagy.
But you know what? They're figuring out a way to win, and that's a testament of a really good football team. Even when you're not playing your best football, you still figure out a way to win the game. So you always got to think about those teams. The Chargers are still a really good football team, even though they go through some growing pains. The Baltimore Ravens, but if we're talking about the best right now, I got to give it to the 49ers and the Eagles. Unfortunately, the Eagles, but I got to give it to them. The record is what the record is.
Record is what the record is. I definitely think that the Eagles will be around too. I think the thing that's kind of off me, the Eagles, is just how they've been adjusting without their coordinator. But like you said, it's so much football left. I'm pretty sure they'll get all of that together. Let's pivot to basketball a little bit. Okay. Las Vegas is like become like a hotbed in sports right now. We know the Las Vegas Aces are up 2-0 in the WNBA Finals. They're one win away from going back-to-back champions. I've seen like the atmosphere that you've seen at these games, Tom Brady being there, LeBron being there, rumors of there being an NBA team there with LeBron and Shaq want to host it. And we also hear about, the A's potentially moving from Oakland to Vegas. What do you think about like this? Oakland. I feel like this. Yeah, they losing everybody. Like I feel bad. They losing everybody. Even though the words across the street still two different things. I've been told from some of my Bay Area friends that it's still different. So I'll let them have that. But what do you think about like kind of like the new era, I guess you want to call, or the birth of a sports era in Vegas? Do you think that's something that's good for, sports?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it was bound to happen, right? I think the minute that sports gambling and sports betting became more and more prevalent in sports, it was only a matter of time before Vegas became the next hub. I think it's the perfect city for it. I think that, from a nightlife, just from an aesthetic standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Also, like if you're into real estate, which I am, like I'm low key a real estate nerd. The real estate market in Vegas is booming right now. Yeah. I mean, so many people are leaving California to go to Vegas because they all need to leave, by the way, for your money. So
everybody leave California, please. Leave
yeah,
Las
like
Vegas.
so
Make
many.
things easy for me.
Who was it that I was with? Mark Wahlberg just left California
Yeah.
to move to Vegas with his family and has this massive compound out there. Obviously, Mayweather's lived out there forever. So
Yeah.
from multiple angles, Vegas is next up. I mean, F1 goes to Vegas every year now. That's coming in November. You have all these residencies that have been popping up there. Usher, Adele, Christina Aguilera. Like it's Vegas makes sense. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry for Oakland, but Vegas, Oakland,
It's a good move. Right, exactly. It's a good move. I think even when I went to Vegas for I've been to Vegas more times I count. I feel like when you live in LA, that's like Disney World for like LA niggas. Like
It's
just go
probably
to
shorter, isn't it?
Vegas.
Like an
Yeah.
hour?
If you're with somebody who doesn't give a fuck about speeding, you can get there in about 3 hours. Anything else, it might be a little longer. But I feel like just the area, like when I went for the draft last year, it just felt live, and I'm like, this is the kind of energy that you need here. And I feel like an NBA team would be great if it went, not if, but when it happens. It's just a matter if it's going to be LeBron or Shaq. Speaking of LeBron, speaking of the NBA, we're about 2 weeks away from the season starting. We've got the big Damian Lillard trade. Now, this is the thing. We have a running joke on this show where we say that concludes our NBA coverage for the day, and it'll be like a 5-minute segment because we all just so football entrenched right now. How would you get somebody like me who I don't really care about this up? Like it's really to like after Super Bowl. Like, what would you say to get people to get excited about this upcoming NBA season?
You know what? I think that's what the whole ideology behind the in-season tournament. Now, if you're a true basketball fan like myself, that pisses you off because it's like it's a meaningless tournament, it's a meaningless trophy. But I understand what they're trying to do, the rationale behind it. But I think that listen, the storylines in the NBA are crazy this year. The East just has been completely shaken up. The West is completely shaken up. I feel like this is a more evenly dispersed NBA than we've seen in a while. I think back in the day, you kind of always knew it was going to be the Heat, the Warriors, in the end, and then, at one point it was going to be Boston and the Lakers, Boston. Like this year, it's anybody's game. It could be Boston, it could be Milwaukee, it could be Phoenix, it could be Denver, it could be Miami. It could you never know. There's so many storylines and there's so much more talent dispersed all over the league. And although early basketball competitive wise isn't the most slam dunks and you don't get all of that, it is interesting to see how some of these teams are starting to gel and starting to work together after a very long off season. And also, I mean, with the Damian Lillard situation, Drew Holiday and Boston now, they play each other for the first time very early in the season in November. You definitely don't want to miss that. I just feel like there's a lot to dive into very early this NBA season.
Definitely. I want to bring my man JR Bang in for this part. It's actually still NBA, but we had a conversation on this show. Actually like 2 weeks ago at this point now. We were talking about the Giannis thing, and we said that Giannis is like when he's telling people that, I'm not signing this contract.
Yeah.
It's like right before your girl start telling you ain't doing certain things and she get ready to leave your ass. Now, granted, even though they got Dame, he is still not signed that extension. Do you think that this is something where he's still putting pressure on the Bucks? Like, yeah, that was cute, but I still might get up out of here.
Yes and no. I think Giannis plays chess, not checkers, and you got to give him credit. He does it when it comes to getting his brothers on the roster. He did it when it came to getting Drew Holiday on the roster. Remember Drew Holiday, there were a lot of teams on the radar to get Drew Holiday. Milwaukee was not one of them. And Giannis, the little tidbits of information about, if he was going to stay in Milwaukee, is he going to resign? Where is he going? And Drew Holiday shows up in Milwaukee, and now he signs his extension. He's kind of doing the same thing with Damian Lillard, dropping those little breadcrumbs throughout the season saying, well, if they're not competitive, I'm not going. If they're not this, I'm not going. Do I think Giannis stays in Milwaukee now that Dame's there? Yes.
Okay, long term.
Yes.
I think I just love how he is putting the pressure on them. And one thing I like about Giannis is he goes up there, he tells these dad jokes and shit like that, which is cool. But he's a killer. He's a very cool, calm, collected killer, and that's what I like about it. But Ben, you had a question for Ashley. I'm gonna give you the floor.
I don't want to go back to this Cowboys thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
because I didn't. I did not know you was a Cowboys fan. And like Scott said, us Bears fans can't complain about anything that's going on. So, but my question to you was talking a lot about Dak and everything and how you believe in him. And I don't think Dak is a bad quarterback, right? And I think you can still win with and you can win the Super Bowl with folks like Dak, right? But my question is that yes, does the team believe in him? Yes, but is there a dog on the Dallas Cowboy team outside of Dak on the offensive side of the ball that can really, really take the team on his back and get them where they need to be? And who is that dog?
It's a good question. I mean, you would think it'd be CeeDee Lamb, right? So the issue with that is the question mark about CeeDee Lamb is still there because he's not fed the ball enough to make that determination, right? In order to know if a wide receiver, and I heard what Richard Sherman said, about him, that he's overrated if he's a wide receiver, number one. I don't believe that. I don't think you can name 10 wide receivers in the NFL better than CeeDee Lamb. I believe he 100% is in the top 10. The issue is that you don't know if he's wide receiver one for the Dallas Cowboys because you haven't been able to see that in real time. You're just going off of his stats, his ability, what you see when he does get it. But that's drastically different than being wide receiver for a particular team. I think that it's concerning that he doesn't know the identity of the offense. Jerry Jones, when asked if he should be getting more touches, he being CD, says, I don't know. I don't think so. There's a disconnect, and it's making it look like he can't exist without Amari Cooper. And I don't think that's the case. I just think that you haven't put him in the same situation. You haven't given him the same responsibility that you once gave Amari Cooper. And that's how everybody realized, okay, Cooper is wide receiver one of the Dallas Cowboys. Until you give CD that same responsibility, it's hard to make that determination.
All right, cool. And really what I really wanted to ask you before I found out this Cowboy stuff, and I'm still looking at you like,
Don't look at me too crazy. You a Bears fan. We can go in if you want.
Okay, let's keep it cute today. All right.
We're gonna keep it cute because we had the number one pick in the draft. We've been huffed for a while, so
we have.
But with the being underneath the I Am Athlete family, with former Bear Brandon Marshall and everything, like you, I believe that you have been given a fresh outlook on sports. Especially in the independent platform, like what we're on right now, what you all doing. There's a lot of independent platforms that's coming out here that's telling their story of what they believe is sports like. But what are some of the things that you feel like are positive about that, and some of the things that you feel like that has been negative about that? Because you were talking about Twitter earlier and how, especially now with verified and not being verified, how that's been going on with how my man has done everything. Like, how hard has it been to be an independent brand out there to really deliver the news and sports in a way that is beneficial for the audience and give them the real?
I think to answer the negative first, the obvious is, the lack of exposure that linear gets, right? We can talk a lot of crap about ESPN and ABC and NBC and all those places, but the eyeballs that these channels get are still significantly higher than, independent channels. Yeah, when talking about like a Pat McAfee on YouTube, that's an anomaly. That usually is not the case for, most web content. So you're competing against that. I think that's the biggest negative, and also, getting from a business standpoint, I'm not in the business aspect of it, but just in conversations that I've had with people who are, obviously Brandon being in it, it's the investors, it's the getting the money, getting the revenue, getting the backing. Like, I think that linear kind of takes for granted because TV is still TV. But on the positive, I think that because so many people are now shying away from linear and traditional media and finding that their voice has more power when it comes from a channel that's more relevant to who they're actually trying to speak to. There's power in that. And there's no secret, and there's no, it's not a coincidence that athletes are getting on this wave. You have the Paul George podcast, you have Gil's Arena, You have Micah Parsons with his Bleacher Report podcast. You have Tyreek Hill. I mean, the list goes on because the power is being able to tell your own story how you want to tell it and not having to fit into a box. And that relatability factor, I feel like, is the biggest difference maker between the independent route and the linear route, because you don't have to sugarcoat anything. And 9 times out of 10, people don't. It's sports entertainment. Like, let's be honest. We're not solving the global warming crisis. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, we're not solving world hunger. We're talking about sports. It's so trivial in the grand scheme of what goes on in life that it's become weird that it's being treated so seriously and so stuffy and so uncool. And I think that the younger generation has realized we want cool sports content. Like, I don't want to see people in suits and turtlenecks running down football highlights. Like, that's not fun for me. Exactly. And that's where new media is running away with this whole media thing. And I am a firm believer in probably the next 5 to 10 years, linear will just either have to adjust or they'll be obsolete.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be bought by Gojo if that's a successful for everybody out there.
Hey man, I just wanted to be one of those guys that had the very bad lining with a suit doing NFL today. Man, like, nah, fam. If y'all like, I don't know who be the people that be doing folks' hair and shit in sports, but like, folks be having terrible liners, especially like the black guys. Like, I love TJ, you know what I'm saying, Tom Jackson, but Tom Jackson had the worst lining in sports history on ESPN.
That's why people appreciated Jalen Rose. His lineup was always sharp.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't think I think, like, you know, TV needs to understand it's more about the swag when it comes to us that makes us look at these athletes and everything as opposed to, you know, anything else. 2 questions before I have you dip. Brandon be saying some wild shit on the show.
He does.
By the way, not to cut you off, man. Not to cut you off. When you get a chance, tell him he's my favorite Bear of all time. By the way.
I will.
I am a diehard Brandon Marshall fan. Yes. You know who's our receivers when we got Brandon Marshall? Man, I got you the whole list.
I mean, I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at it, but damn, like, out of everybody, like, no linebacker. No, I used to play linebacker, so that's what.
It was Brian Urlacher before I found out he didn't like black people. But that's a whole different discussion. So yeah, it's Brandon Marshall.
But my question was, like, everybody be saying some wild shit. Like, I got a chance to talk to Pac-Man while he was on there.
Yeah.
When Shady was talking shit about Justin Fields and you know all of that stuff. Like, so what is the wildest take from one of the guys on the show that you was like, oh no, hell no,
that I was there for?
That you was there for?
Oh, it has to be Brandon Marshall trying to tell me during the NBA season that depth does not matter. That you could win an NBA championship.
Okay, yeah, because you went hard on that one. Yeah, you went hard on that one, and I was like,
you know what it was? You know, Stack was there on the show at the time, and I was dumbfounded the first time he said it, but then he doubled down like the next day, and this was even after the Suns had lost, and I was just like, how can you really sit there after what you just saw and say that you only need 2 people to win an NBA championship? And the rationale and just the examples, which were poor examples that he was giving, were just insane to me. Like the will of an athlete, and all you have to do is hit all your 3-point shots. And I'm just like, you're asking for a lot of things to work in the favor of 2 guys to make this. It was one thing about Brandon, though. I mean, he'll stand 10 toes down even if he's wrong. Like, and he be wrong. So it's like
that's why I'm shocked he's Scott's favorite Bear, because he was wrong a lot, you know.
Yeah, but what's one thing you know about me in a decade, that if sometimes I know I'm wrong, I'm gonna double down. I don't give a fuck. Like, so that's the one thing I got in common. I could be mid conversation, know I'm wrong. I'm gonna double down.
I know. Believe me, I know.
You remember the infamous argument with the guys where Brandon was screaming at the top of his lungs that NBA contracts aren't good?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, fam, you tweaking. Like, you know, your shirt's getting sweaty, your underarms getting wet, fam. Like, just sit down and chill. All right, before I let you go, this is for my man Mike B. All right, I do a podcast called Some Dude. Scott, we got to talk too. I do a podcast called Some Dude, and my man Mike is a diehard Cowboys fan too, right? And I was trying to talk him off the ledge because he feels like if the Chargers defeat the Cowboys, like it's a wrap for the season. And I think I talked him off that ledge, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason why I talked him off that ledge is because I think Micah Parsons is probably going to have let's just say a historic game against the Chargers, so to speak, right? Because I think he got a lot of flack about the it's personal thing, when to me, every football game should be personal. The Dallas Cowboys lost to the 49ers these last couple of times, fam. You should have been ready to bash somebody's head in. So over under on sacks at 4. How many do we get over or do we get under?
Oh, I'm going over for sure. Yeah, what? I'm going over for sure. Micah's going to eat on Monday. I'll tell you that much. Like, for a multitude of reasons. I just think that he's mad disrespected. He feels mad disrespected by George Kittle. I think he feels mad disrespected just about the outcome of that game. I think he's tired of these old heads disrespecting these young guys. And I also just feel like this is the Kellen Moore revenge game. You know what I mean? Like, Kellen Moore's on the other side of that situation, and you can't lose to a former Cowboy. You know, you gotta have some pride. Like, so I think Mike is gonna eat on Monday. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm just letting y'all know, hot take. I think he matching Khalil Mack's game.
6.
I think I'm going 6. I think with everything that happened this week. And that's one of the reasons why I asked you about that dog question, because I know we got one on the defensive side. Like that, sure. Like 11 is a killer. But I think it's the show out time. It's Monday Night Football. It's Justin Herbert. You got the former Cowboys offensive coordinator on the sidelines just looking to try to get his revenge. Right. I think, though, this is going to be the Micah Parsons game that we talk about, because I'll say this, I think the dude is a top 5 player in the NFL. And I do hate, as a former defensive player, I do hate when you hear people say there's no chance.
You doing what my brother doing now. We want to play the coach music.
It gets on my nerves when you hear people say that a defensive player can't be MVP, fam. So I think he's going to have the Lawrence Taylor cocaine game. He's going to go ahead and get that line right now. Boom. And it's going to be nuts, fam. So that's my spiel. I hope you get that 6. If we get that 6, you heard it right here.
Cocaine.
It's the LT cocaine game, fam. Allegedly LT take a line, come out there and kill everybody on the field, fam. So only thing he ain't gonna do is break a leg.
The views and thoughts of J.R. Bain do not reflect the Barbershop Network.
As always.
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. But just go look up Lawrence Taylor. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
I interviewed LT, so I can gauge it.
There you go.
Allegedly.
That was the nice Hollywood flex. So everybody, Bang can stop throwing that on me. Every time I say this Hollywood nigga. Well, anyway, Ashley, we appreciate you for coming on as usual. Let everybody know where they can get in tune with you. I know you're doing a lot of stuff. I seen you with the Tommy Hilfiger thing. You know, shout out to you on that.
Oh, that's dope.
Let them know where they can get in tune with you.
You guys can just follow me on social right there at Ash Nicole Moss, Twitter and Instagram. It's the same handle. And then obviously we do Paper Out Monday through Thursday on the I Am Athlete YouTube page, and also it airs on SiriusXM. So
definitely, we appreciate you, G. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys. Y'all have a good weekend.
Hey,
no doubt.
Bye.
Bye. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about the NBA, NFL upcoming season that we've got going on. So Bang, before we get to that, Bang, how are you feeling, my man? I know you just came back from the doctor thing.
Oh man, yeah, got to get stuff checked out, man. I got some good news a couple of weeks ago. Excuse me, on some health stuff, so still got to check on some other stuff, but I'm feeling good today, man. It was a good interview.
It's a good interview. Shout out to Ashley, man. She always is a good interview. Yeah. We've got the rest of the crew in here, so we gonna bring everybody in just a second. Dante is working for the white man. He will be on later on in this episode.
He is. They lost.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about his actual.
Okay, his actual job. Okay,
the one that pays for that ridiculous penthouse he has in Midtown Atlanta. We've got Courtney and Mikey here. What's going on?
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
What's the word?
I am doing quite well.
2 hats, okay. One terrible team, one team that
I'm repping Pillars, man. Shout out my nigga Mike. Shout out Rob. Everybody at Pillars. Y'all need to go shop at Pillars. They got all the different locations. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text Mike right now. You better pay me for this promotion I'm doing right now, but fuck with Pillars, man. They got 4 stores in Chicago, man. Chicago Ridge, Orland Park, West Loop, 87th. Fuck with them. And then also I'm repping them Buffs, man. We going for that dub today.
The HBCU.
We roll
HBCU white.
Where Prime go, I go. Where Prime go, I go. That's my team. But I know, Mikey. I know you were doing the Birdman hand rub when Ashley and Bang were talking about how many sacks Michael had. I'm like, I know he's probably got that as a bet.
I was over there writing it down, and I'm like, let me see what we got going over here. So, that might be a Monday night play that we add to Twitter.
We might have to add that Monday night play, man. But we're going to get into some football, man. Like I said, Dante being probably within the next 20, 25 minutes, man. He'll be joining us for our baseball talk. We got a lot of baseball talk. I wanted to have baseball talk on Monday, but it was just me and Bang here, and I didn't want to bore Bang while I was just up here talking baseball and shit. And shout out to Mariano who came in and joined us too, man. So shout out to Mariano. But we're gonna get into NFL. We're gonna start off with last night's ridiculously boring Thursday night football game between the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and the team that I still can't believe the Bears lost to, the now 1-5 Denver Broncos. The score was 19-8. Russell Wilson need his ass whooped. He's 13 for 22, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Jerry Jeudy did all that damn shit talking to Smitty. He went 3 catches, 14 yards. On the Chiefs end, I would take this one thing as a fellow. I feel like I'm the founder of the Matt Nagy hate train because I called it out a long time. I called it out remember, I don't know if you, Bang and Mike, if y'all remember the Sunday night huff off between Mitch and Jared Goff.
Yeah. Jared Goff looked like he wanted no parts of being in Chicago.
Yeah, it was cold as hell. Roquan had that pick 6. You know what I'm saying? And that's the game. I was like, something with this play calling. Mitch is huff, but it's something with this play calling. I would take solace in the fact that even Matt Nagy can make a team led by Patrick Mahomes offense look pedestrian. 19 points last night. Patrick Mahomes 30 of 40, 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was tripping. My question to y'all is it just the Matt Nagy thing that's up with the Chiefs? Because I feel like we got to respect them because they're still the Chiefs, but something's missing here.
I think it's a lack of a true, skill receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of Travis Kelce, who do they really got? They got Kadarius Toney, who the Giants gave up on. They got Rashee Rice out of SMU, so that's a rookie. So you're dealing with a rookie wide receiver. They've moved on from Juju. Obviously, they've moved on from Tyreek Hill. So you really just got my cousin Pacheco back there and Kelce. Their offense isn't the vertical offense that we're used to seeing. I mentioned it yesterday. I see a lot of shit before, a shit to the line of scrimmage and go and get that yak, So I think it definitely is. There's a difference between, Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy, and we're seeing that right now because even though the Commanders have been asked, that offense has been, it's been productive to say, it's been productive. So I just think that they're really lacking some real killers on the outside, and I would not be shocked to see them try to make a play for somebody here, in a couple weeks before the trade deadline.
Man, I don't know because I question how much Matt Nagy really does with this offense, right? I think that Andy ceded a lot of control to Eric Bieniemy in hopes that it'd get him a coaching job, and it just didn't happen. So I question how much Matt Nagy has to do with this offense. And I really put the onus on Andy Reid because if that offense is that bad, we supposed to hear about Andy Reid. But what we haven't heard this year? We haven't heard a lot about Andy Reid's name. And what did we hear a lot last year? Oh, Andy Reid, this is still Andy Reid's offense. It's still this, it's still that, even though Eric Bieniemy was the one that was calling the plays. So how come we can't say anything about Andy Reid this year like we was when the offense offense was doing well last year. So I'm going to put the onus on Andy Reid. Maybe his ass is a little bit mid right now, and now we get to see
the black man always gets the back pick. That's why.
Dead ass. So
when the nigga call the plays, it's a white
combination
man.
of those two things, in my opinion. Absolutely right. That it's an unfortunate situation for Patrick Mahomes, right? Because you are surrounded, not by the great Tyreek Hill anymore. Even Juju, is respectfully probably a better alternative to Kadarius Toney. He just has a lack of weapons combined with maybe some not great play calling, and then couple that with your only real reliable receiver of any kind being your tight end and Travis Kelce. Yeah, it's a bad situation. They definitely want to look into getting somebody. Otherwise, the Chiefs are looking real spooky for the rest of the season.
I got a question. How the fuck do Travis Kelce be so open?
Man,
all the fucking time. He's not fast. He's not quick. How the fuck?
And you know where the ball is going. Like, who else is Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to?
Yeah.
I don't get it. He's like the fastest slow nigga ever. Like he a fast slow nigga. Like you see Travis Kelce come out the blocks and you be like, how the fuck y'all can't? Why is he
45? Yeah.
In the numerous shots that they had of Taylor Swift, I think he had like one catch. She was looking like, oh my God. Now she's probably looking because she don't watch football.
The game last night? I didn't watch it last night. I did not.
Shout out my nigga Al Michaels, who refused to talk about her to the very end. He said, we gonna draw a line in the sand. We talking football. But it's just like I don't get it. Like, especially when we see as Bears fans how many times receivers and tight ends don't get open. He's always open. And they go into these defensive meetings, and the number one thing they're saying is don't let Kelce beat you. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that. It don't fucking matter. He always finds a way to get open. And so I just feel like that right there is the only thing that's keeping them afloat. If he really went down with a serious injury in Minnesota, their ass would have been cooked. And it's to the point right now where I said I'm giving the Chiefs the same respect that I used to give Tom Brady and the Patriots. So even when they didn't have their best season, I was just like, okay, they can find a way to get it together. But that offense is smelly, man. Like you said, man, it might not 100% be Matt Nagy, but I'm blaming Matt Nagy. I know cute ass Matt Nagy plays when I see him, and I've seen a whole bunch of that shit the last couple weeks. Let's pivot to the Broncos real quick. What's up with Russ? Like, I feel like he's the first player ever who might be actually playing himself out of the Hall of Fame. And I think the question that everybody's looking at right now, should they intentionally, they might even have intentionally tank. Should they just tank and try to get themselves fully in the Caleb Williams thing?
Now, 1 second. Before I answer that question, I want to ask, is the onus of the Broncos' issues solely on Russell Wilson?
No. I think he's a part of it. And honestly, before this game, I don't think he was that bad. But it's not to the point where like he stands out and we like, that's the Russell Wilson we know. So it's still Sean Payton is
particularly noteworthy. Respectfully.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly.
And everything, but
yeah.
I'm not wowed by the rest of that team. So I feel bad. And maybe because I am a little bit of a Russell Wilson fan, maybe a bit of a Russell Wilson fan.
I'm about to hurt your feelings today.
A little defensive. I just don't think that the onus of the offense and the issues with that offense should be on Russell. Has he underperformed? Absolutely. Has he looked questionable at times? Absolutely. I just think kind of similarly to Patrick Mahomes, he's not surrounded by the best offensive artillery.
Whoa. When they got Russell Wilson, everybody was saying how this team was going to be a Super Bowl contender. He got the white receiver, probably not you, but you know better. Right? We all know better. But they was talking about how Jerry Jeudy is a good wide receiver. Cortland Sutton was a good wide receiver. Noah Fant, was still there like at that time. Got traded after that, and they traded a good tight end and brought in a fairly decent one, and I forgot my man's name, like with the African name or whatever, all right? Your running back situation was good. The offensive line was but it was workable. comfortable, right? Now all of a sudden he gets there and everybody looks mid, and he looks mid too. He looks worse than mid. And then you got Sean Payton that comes up in there, and that's like, oh man, this is the guy that had Drew Brees. He's the quarterback whisperer and all of that. It's the same thing that I said with Andy Reid, man. Maybe these niggas that we call quarterback whisperers was just mid in the first place, and they just end up having them a good to great quarterback. I saw something, I think it was on First Take today, or Get Up, where it was on Get Up, where Ryan Clark, they was talking about Sean Payton, and Ryan Clark was like, nah, y'all got to realize Drew Brees was good before he got there. Yeah. He just had the sling on his shoulder because he had the bad injury, so Miami didn't want him. And the Chargers end up getting Phillip Rivers. So either way it go, it's just one of those situations where it's like, yo, he's good, but it was just some wild shit happen. So he goes to the Saints, and he's the Drew Brees that we thought. Now, was the shit elevated? Yeah, because the offense allowed him to throw a whole bunch of yards. But Drew Brees was Drew Brees when Drew Brees got to the Saints. The same thing with Andy Reid. He had Donovan with him. He was kind of okay with Alex Smith. You get the greatest quarterback ever, and now people thinking you're an offensive genius again. All right? So I can say the same thing about Sean Payton when he gets to a team where the quarterback was mid all alone. We just didn't see it because he had a whole bunch of things around him. Because Russell Wilson was more than likely mid, but Pete Carroll put things around him. Darrell Bevel and all of them offensive staff people and everybody in between made him look good. He goes to another team. He wants to be Tom Brady in goddamn Denver. He got the Broncos country. Let's ride. And all of that shit because he feeling himself, and he ends up in another situation where it just so happens that it exposes all of the things that didn't get exposed in them good years in Seattle. So this is what happens when mid meets mid. It's all mid, fam.
How you go mid on mid?
It's mid on mid, Jack. We just didn't see that shit until this year.
And the crazy shit about that is, you know, you look at all the draft capital they gave up on top of the bag that they gave him. Russell Wilson's extension doesn't kick in until next year. He's only making $8 million this year. So next year is when the extension kicks in. If they wanted to rid themselves of Russell Wilson next year, that's $85 million dead cap space that they got to take. So they are stuck with him. They got to make it work at least until 2026. What I'm seeing here is next year it goes to $17 million. In 2025, that man will be making $37 million a year. The next out they have is in 2026. So what are you gonna do? And you traded a first round pick for Sean Payton. So they have to make it work. I don't think he was playing yesterday. He was shit. The motherfucker had 17 yards in the first half. I was salty. I had Cortland Sutton over 3.5 receptions, and that was the sweatiest bet I had in my life. If it wasn't for that amazing catch in the end zone for the touchdown, I would be sick right now. I would have had to call out. I couldn't do it. They couldn't have done it to me. But you know, another thing that I just noticed with the Broncos, and you know, we can move on, but the play calling doesn't seem to be conducive to like a good offense and putting Russ in the right spots with those guys. Like, you know, Jerry Jeudy, he's got talent and he's been playing like shit. But I don't understand why they don't open up the field and spread them out a little bit more. The one big reception he had for like 13 yards, 12 yards, like that looked like a great play. Like they were attacking the middle of the field. Like it seems like it just doesn't seem like it's flowing. You're getting a quarterback who's mid and is coming off of a terrible year last year, and you're getting a coach who has been sitting up in the Fox, you know what I'm saying, press book, the Fox studio up there in LA for a year, 2 years, and he's kind of shaking off the rust. So I don't know. I think that, like you said, they're going to find themselves in the Caleb Williams talk, the Drake May talk, just off the strength of being ass, and they still got to play the Broncos again. They still got to play the Chargers. You know, like the L's are going to come, and I'm just more mad that the Bears lost to them.
Hey man, Jerry Judy lucky he didn't get his ass whooped last night.
Yeah, like people like niggas forget Smitty got hands. And any nigga that know how niggas trying to calm himself down, that's exactly what Smitty
Did
was
you
doing.
see him after the speech? Nah. Did you see him after the speech? He damn near threw his mic down, G. He damn near threw his yes. Watch the whole clip. At the end of it, my man was like, "Rrr." I was like, "Yo, he really want to whoop dude ass right now." Yeah, but he know if he do it, he going to jail.
So I've been living in NHL and MLB land recently. I don't actually know what was said.
Okay, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll send you the video. I'm gonna just give you like the little clip notes. Basically, so they're doing the pregame show on the field at Arrowhead Stadium. It was him and I forgot my man's name who was with him, but and so he's like, I guess like Smitty said something about him like last week. Said he's like a tier 3 wide receiver. He's not a game changer and things like that, which is all
true. He's a jag. Yeah, just he's another jag. Guy.
Just another guy. That's what we called him, a jag. Just another guy. So he said. So I came on the field earlier. To you know, he's been playing better the last couple games. So I came in the field later to tell him like, "Yo, that's just how I see it. I'm glad you're playing better. It's nothing personal." And he said that Jerry Judy came to him. He said on TV, he said ninja. And that's the funny part. His co-host didn't know a ninja. He was like, ninja.
He came up to him on TV.
No, this before, like right before, like doing like a break. And so he told his co-host that Jerry Judy said, "Ninja, I don't mess with you." And then the co-host like, "Ninja," and then everybody who knows, like, basically what he said is, "Nigga, I don't fuck with you," is what Jerry Judy said. So he turned up. It's like, so at the end, you sorry ass receiver. He basically went full LA. It was like, you sorry, and I didn't have to say all that since I tried to put my hand out like a man, and you didn't want to stand that. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, or some shit like that. He started going in on his ass, and so that's pretty much like trying to calm himself down. After that, Jerry Judy background like shit while they doing the segment, it was just crazy shit. You'll see. I'll send you the video. I'll put the video in the full group chat. But I was gonna say this about them before we move on to our next.
Wait. You didn't even mention the one where Jerry Judy was in the back.
Oh yeah, Jerry. So then pregame, Jerry Judy goes behind the NFL Network set. And he's just like rapping some NBA young boy, and he's like yelling, and you see Steve Smith, and they see him, and he's and he just go out there and 3 receptions, 14 yards. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro, come on, man.
Shout out, Courtney, our producer, hat on too. Yeah, every time I move around, my audio be acting like it don't want to. Don't. What did Drake say? Best Buy microphones. Best Buy microphones. Yep. Anyway, but this is why I'm gonna say Dante's about to join in a minute. So my whole thing is this: like, I feel like with Sean Payton, what you're seeing right now, Sean Payton is one of the most overrated coaches of all time. I mean, we just gotta say,
fuck your like, shit, Scott.
We just gotta say like he's a very overrated coach. I understand he got Illinois ties. You know what I'm saying? He went to Eastern. You know, shout out my nigga Mike. He always tells about the time he came down to Eastern, show him a Super Bowl ring. He probably a cool nigga, all that. But the nigga is a stepped-on product, okay? Like, we keep talking about, what he did for Drew Brees. Like you said, Bang, Drew Brees was decent when he was in San Diego. Ain't his fault his shoulder's about to fall off. You know what I'm saying? That's not his fault. He always had that talent. And I also feel like when you're talking about a Russell Wilson, we really just see how right Pete Carroll was. Like, we over here talking about, Pete Carroll's this, Pete Carroll's that, and all those are probably true statements, but he was able to get the best out of Russ. And just even look what he's doing with Geno now. Geno couldn't get it right in any team he was on. Now Geno looks like a guy, and you got to give a lot of that credit. Of course, we can't take credit away from Geno. Geno still worked hard. Geno's a guy who still go out there and read the field and make the passes. But you got to give Pete Carroll love for how he's able to just move from Russ to Geno. But one thing I would think, if there's anything Pete Carroll ever did for me as a Bears fan, is to turn down the Bears trade 2 years ago that we had on the table for Mr. Russell Wilson, and which eventually led us to getting Justin. So I thank you, Mr. Pete Carroll, on that one. But let's move on to a segment that is becoming very popular on this TV show that I like to call Mikey's Weekly Parlay. When he comes up here, he gives you what you guys need as far as making your money each and every week, what bets you should be doing. Now, last week, I think you cashed in pretty good. So I'm going to get the floor to my man, Mikey, and he's going to tell y'all what y'all need to be doing this weekend.
Mikey's Weekly Parlay.
Weekly brought to you by Hero.
We gotta have like dollar signs calling this shit.
We gotta have the Deion Sanders. Must be the money.
Last week.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna get a song done for my nigga Mikey, bro. We gonna get a theme song done, bro.
I'm about to get the money phone. I'm about to have the money phone. Week 10.
Exactly. Money on the line. So, Mikey, what you got for us this weekend, bro?
So last week we finally hit the I'm not gonna hold you parlay, man. It was long trying. We've been coming up short one leg, but we finally hit it. This week, man, we're gonna go for the gusto. This week I'm gonna hit y'all with 5-team parlay. Money line parlay. We're going to take all these teams to win. We're going to take the Detroit Lions to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. We're going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to beat Courtney's Jets. We're going to take the Washington Commanders to beat the Atlanta Falcons. And we're going to take the Bears to beat the Vikings. It's plus 1440. You throw a hundo on it, pay your rent. 1440 is what the payout is. So I love those matchups, and I got 2 single player props for y'all. We're gonna ride with the boy QB1 Justin Fields over 195.5 passing yards. He's cleared this in 4 out of the 5 games. The only game he didn't do that was against the Chiefs. Minnesota is allowing 280 passing yards to opposing quarterbacks over the last 3 games. And I just think the Chicago Bears improve on the passing game, and we see Justin. He's going to clear this easily. And then the last one for Sunday Night Football, Stephon Diggs over 81.5 receiving yards. He's cleared this in 4 out of 5 games. We got a large spread here. The Bills are favored by 14.5. No Daniel Jones, no nobody for the Giants. So I think the Bills get out early and often. And I think Stephon Diggs clears this easily.
And there you have it, folks. That is where you get your money. Mikey's Weekly Parlay brought to you each and every week by Harold's Chicken on 103rd. Shout out to them. Unofficial, they have no idea who the fuck we are sponsored. But we gotta get you like a theme song, bro. Whoever wants to make Mikey a theme song, I might have Pappy not going out for you. You know, we'll figure this out. But we're going to get to our week 6 review. It's crazy that I just saw it was put in the group chat. That was crazy. So we just gonna get into like our week 6. It's crazy that we already 6 weeks into this season, man. So we got a whole bunch of matchups right now. Is my audio good? Everybody still
good now. You back now. You back now.
I gotta stop moving around. But
you get ready.
I'm good.
You gotta be like this, nigga.
Yeah, I gotta be like this. But we gonna get. Huh?
I was saying like a reporter.
Right, like this. I got I gotta get him my Rashad bag when I be on here.
Shouts out to Tom Skilling.
Shout out to a Chicago legend, man. Tom Skilling for holding it down. I kind of knew that he was gonna be retiring because he's been kind of off on his projections. At least the times I've been back home, I'm like, nigga, it's a little cold, bro. That's not what you said on your projections, boss. This is not what you said. So you know what I'm saying. Shout out to Tom Skilling, every Chicago person. Unless you like Super. I don't know how long Tom Skilling been doing it since I was like a shorty, bro. Facts. Like. Remember, I know kids now, they get days off. This is my old man rant. Y'all get days off because y'all soft. But remember back in the day, remember the little NBA draft thing you used to come across?
Yeah, the little ticket. You would be thirsty to see if your district, your shit. You'd be like, oh, damn.
Why the fuck Michelle Clark not on this shit?
Right. Hold on, I missed it. I missed it. It's coming back around. You there for 10 minutes and shit?
If you was at a school that was in Cook County, you never got a day off. Like, ever, bro. Like, sometimes you just have to beg your mama, like, you're not finna send me out in that shit, are you? Like, but shout out to Tom Skilling, man, for a long career, man. So shout out to him, man. But week 6, we are here. We're gonna get into some of these games. We're gonna start our predictions. Dante should be joining us soon before we get into our LB playoff talk, which I'm really excited to get into. Let's start off with Titans-Ravens, man. Titans-Ravens. This game, the Ravens coming off a loss last week. They need their ass whooped. Yeah, as we said, we talk about family man.
God damn! Oh, my bad.
What happened?
My bad. Nah, They said that Taylor Swift is projected to make $4.1 billion off that motherfucking tour. That's why I was like, oh, God damn.
By the way, can I just say this before we get into our football? The Peace Treaty picture is out with her and Beyonce. So I'm gonna need all y'all grown ass adults to act like adults and start acting like they beefing. All right, Vado, shout out everybody at the Grove who had her little premiere over there. So shout out my nigga Nick, who's like the king of the Grove. I wonder if he got up in that joint. But let's start with Titans, Ravens. Ravens need to ask whoop for the performance they had last week. We added Odell Beckham and Bill Belichick, the Family Man records. I think we added Russell Wilson there this week. What are y'all feeling coming this game? I feel like the Titans are a hard team to get a read on like every week.
Honestly, that pitiful performance from the Ravens receivers last week. Them niggas they could not catch COVID if Rudy Gobert spit in their mouth in 2020.
That's hilarious. That's a good one.
It was absolutely atrocious. That being said, I still think the Titans are going to win. I wish Lamar would stop fumbling the ball for fantasy reasons, for personal, I love Lamar Jackson reasons. I just don't understand that man. Like, I really don't understand what he has to do to better secure the ball. I feel like I can expect a fumble out of him at least once per game.
Cost me $600.
Cost me $810. Cost me $810. I feel you
guys.
I lost nothing. But
we gonna get you to gamble, bro. I'm gonna get you some. How my man Jordan Belfort said, some fun coupons. I'm gonna get you some coupons. I'm gonna sell you a little $50 risk.
That's like a crack dealer. Let me get
right.
I'm gonna give you a little risk free. I'm gonna give you a little risk free vest.
You gonna be like my man Lulu on Page Full.
Right, damn, that's damn good right there. That's a fine parlay.
You'll end up like off Snowfall, bro, and start knocking people out for their necklaces.
Right. Yeah. Now Mikey gonna be like when Franklin went to Oakland and realized how to cook crack. Like he gonna send me out there.
I got you though, but I like the Ravens, man. They're playing in London. You sound like you're from London. So I'm gonna ride with the Ravens. And one thing that I noticed, and the Ravens went there right after the loss to the Steelers. So they've already been out there been out there since Monday. The Titans just left today, and that jet lag is a real thing. So I take the Ravens. I'm not really worried. They'll get back right.
Yeah, man, it's the Ravens. They just need to do what the fuck they need to do so I give me some goddamn money. I lost. How the fuck you throw that damn interception in the end zone and got Joey Porter Jr. over there talking about, go be a family man and shit. But yeah, man,
and Joey Porter like, we strapped that old nigga up.
Right, we strapped the old nigga. But
he talking like his daddy.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that these dudes was practicing with rugby balls. Like, who the fuck idea was to practice with rugby balls, my G? That's not going to work. That's why they out here doing what they doing. But they practicing with real balls this week, and they're going to beat the shit out of the Titans.
That's crazy.
That was wild.
Right, pause. That's crazy.
I'm going to go with I'm going to actually go with the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Ravens because I'm done picking the Tennessee Titans in anything. I saw a little vlog on the Chicago Bulls YouTube from when the Bulls were doing their little they're doing their training camp in Nashville, which is a weird place to do training camp.
Yeah.
And they went to the facility in Nashville for the Titans, where we realized that this nigga, what's my man name? My man DeMar is an actual 5-star athlete and can actually throw the football.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you shouldn't be talking to Mike Vrabel and Ryan Tannehill. Like we trying to get y'all away from being average. I'm not the niggas you talk to. But I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one. Even though people call me a Lamar Jackson hater on internet, which are all lies, by the way, I have no problem with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I like Lamar Jackson. Right. I just call it like it is. But I think they'll win this one. I think they'll bounce back, and I'm just not picking the Tennessee Titans in anything anymore, man. So that's why I'm gonna roll with them. And as we get ready to do this stuff, we had the right time. We got our man Dante is finally here. I'm gonna add him to the call now. Dante, what's going on, brother?
I'm solid, my boy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, it's good to be back. This is the first time we done had all 5 of us in a minute, man. It feels good. Why y'all been, man?
It's been a minute. Yeah. We all here. Hey, niggas been traveling, making moves. Like we are very busy. 5 people here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got, you know, Mikey holding it down in Miami, you know, Bang, he owned the Midwest radio, you know what I'm saying? Courtney doing her thing, NHL, you know. I do my thing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I ain't gotta say what I do. I don't do too much. And you know, my man Dante, you know, he's no longer working for the Braves. Them niggas are out of here. But
well, I feel like this is the 1 week to especially clarify. I was never working for the Braves. I was covering the Braves, but yeah, you are correct. That shit is dead. It's over with. They went out sad, bro. I know we're gonna get into that. But
yeah, we're gonna get into them later.
They went out sad.
What do you think about this Titans Ravens game, man? Which way you leaning with this?
I see that everybody's finally off the injured list, so I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
You gonna go with the Ravens?
I'm not expecting a whole lot, you know, from Odell, but you know it'd be good to get bro back out there, get some snaps, and I think they're gonna take care of business on Sunday.
All right, let's move on to our next game on this schedule, which is the Falcons and the Commanders. And by the way, if you want a preview of this game, this is a cheap plug, which really not a cheap plug, but plug is on the same network. And there's a new episode of King's Landing out right now. The homies Jared and Brian will be breaking down this Falcons and Commanders game, man. Of course, each and every week they got y'all on the Atlanta Falcons coverage. Which way y'all leaning with this one, man? I feel like the Commanders need to try to get some love back after these last 2 weeks.
Man, I'm a different from Mikey, man. I'm going with the Falcons, G. I think this is going to be a shootout game, too. I think we're going to see a lot of points scored. I think Drake London finally going to get off pause. And we're going to see some good movement out there on that field, man. So I'm going with the Falcons.
Who else?
Yeah, I'm riding with the Commanders. I just think, you know, after that embarrassing loss to the beloved on Thursday Night Football, I think they get right. You know, they got 10 days to get right, and they were showing signs in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for Justin Fields and DJ Moore just saying fuck it, he down there somewhere, I'm gonna throw it to him. You know, that game was getting awfully close to the Bears blowing, you know, their second big lead 2 weeks in a row. So I think this defensive line gets after Desmond Ridder. They're going to force him to make throws. Obviously, if he can make the throws, there are plays to be made with that Commander secondary. You know, back there trying to guard Drake London, and you know, maybe they get Kyle Pitts involved. Who fucking knows? But I really like the Commanders to bounce back this week. And I think they do, man.
I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders as well, man. I feel like the Commanders are a team that with the Commanders, like I feel like they're better than how they've played the last 2 weeks. Like you said, last week was just more about the Justin and DJ catching the Holy Ghost more than anything. That defensive line, they picked up more pressure in the second half on the Bears, and I think that's something they'll be able to do this week. One stat that I was not aware of till last week is that Desmond Ridder is undefeated at Mercedes. I think that comes to an end this week. He is not that guy that he showed last week. And I think Sam Howell will be able to make some plays, man. I think that this is going to be a very competitive game. But Chase Young and those guys, I feel like they'll be able to get through that offensive line and make some big plays, man. So I'm going to go with the Falcons, man. The Falcons, I won't say they've been a surprise because we all knew on paper they've got a good roster. And it was just really about the questions at quarterback. But they've been having a pretty solid season so far, and I'm gonna keep. I think the momentum keeps up for them, so I'm gonna go with the Falcons this week.
I'm gonna go Falcons as well. I was actually at that game last week against the Texans, and this was like the first week where they really opened it up and let Ridder throw the ball. And we see how trash the Commanders' secondary is. No disrespect, but at the same time, you know they're not that good. So I think this is gonna be another.
Niggas' ass.
It's the same. Like this is gonna be another good week for Arthur Smith to open that offense up, and I think getting Bijan active in the passing game and Cordell Patterson, and also you talking about the Falcons, their secondary is really underrated. You got a quarterback, you got AJ Terrell who's all pro, You got Bates back there, who's an All-Pro. They got a lot of solid players on their squad, and so it's a matter of that. Even if their front four with Bud Dupree, with Grady, they can really get to the quarterback. So I think the Commanders will continue to struggle, and like you said, Ritter's undefeated at home. I think that continues. I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
By the way, since everybody wasn't on the show last week, we gotta give Dante a happy belated birthday, bro. Let's give it up for him.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
Hey,
happy birthday, folks!
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, big folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out all my October niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody 35 and up.
Yeah, I will be crossing the
coming soon though, so Scorpio season.
You already know it is. Like I said, I only care about zodiacs when I'm talking to women. But besides that, Scorpio, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I will have my birthday in 2 weeks. But yeah, definitely happy birthday, Dante.
What's your birthday?
October 26th.
Oh.
You know what's crazy?
Scorpio.
Yeah, October 26th.
Yeah, what's crazy? See, I was supposed to be born on. I was supposed to be on the 31st, nigga. That shit wild.
Yeah, I was about to say that was I'd have been in the pause chamber with Bang real quick. I was like, yeah, you came early. Pause. That was crazy. Yeah, but shout out to all our October birthdays out there, man. Let's go on to our next game. Our next game is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a good game, man. Bengals coming off a big win over the Arizona Cardinals last week. I think Seattle was on a bye last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were on a bye. I don't remember them niggas playing. This game will be in Cincinnati. Jamar Chase proved, like you said, he's 7-11. He always open. But I'm going to go with Seattle on this one. The reason I'm going with Seattle on this one is because I just don't believe that Joe Burrow is still 100%. I understand he played well last week, but it was a little bit of what Justin did last week too. And Jamar Chase is down there somewhere. That game was pretty close. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from the Cardinals. Cardinals are a hard-playing team. I think they'll be around all season. I think they're going to get a couple more wins too. But I think this is a Seattle team that's going to be much better than that Cardinals team they face. And until I see Joe put together a string of a couple games like he had this past Sunday, I'm just not going to believe that calf is 100%. And like I said, I keep thinking that's going to be a major part of the season because I don't want him to get hurt any more than he is. And I just feel like there's a lot of other smelly things about the Bengals too. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks for this one. And I think they'll be more equipped to win this one this week.
Yeah, I'm riding with Seattle too. I'm riding with you. Pete Carroll has a very good track record of getting his teams ready to play. When they're coming from the West Coast, going to the East Coast. And I think we might see a game where Joe Burrow gets sacked about 4 or 5 times. I'm agreeing with you on the calf, but we just saw what the Seattle Seahawks defense, when they're locked in, what they could do to a mobile quarterback and Daniel Jones, and they beat the shit out of him. I think it's going to be one of those games. This might be, the Bengals only favored by a field goal. So I think this is going to be one of those games where, it's coming down to the end. But I like the Seahawks in this game, and I think DK Metcalf has a big game.
I ain't got to say too much, man. Bengals.
No explanation.
I don't have too many thoughts. I'm going with Seattle. I don't trust them right now.
Yeah, no. The Geno story just keeps getting better. I'm a rock with Seattle. I think Seattle takes care of business.
Y'all was like, we just came. What did my man remember? Jamie Foxx on Chappelle Show. He did Tony Blair. We can't trust random niggas. That's how we feel about the Bengals. That's how niggas feel about the Bengals right now. Let's move on to our next game, man. Jaguars Colts. Jaguars coming off a victory, 2 victories in London the last 2 weeks, man. They're going up against the Indianapolis Colts, who will be without their quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson has a shoulder injury, and I think they placed him on IR.
They did.
They did.
Yeah, so he's on IR, and he's on IR, and he will be replaced by Gardner Minshew. I think that the Jaguars have been they're getting away with a lot. And I say this, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a good quarterback. I'm gonna get my Stephen A. bag rule. He's a good kid. I have no problem with him. I'm a fan. Having said all that, I think he gets away with criticism because he's white. And I just feel like if there was any other quarterback doing what he was doing, he'd be getting killed right now. But I think he's gonna get away with another one this week because I don't think Indianapolis is as explosive without Anthony Richardson. And Gardner Minshew's a guy who can come in and win you a game or two. That's just how he is as a backup quarterback, which you expect from your backup quarterback. He does what you need him to do. But I just feel like the Jaguars are starting to get into a little bit of an offensive rhythm, and this is going to be something where they'll be able to take advantage of the Anthony Richardson absence and win this game. So I'm going to go with the Colts.
Man, the Colts already got their ass whooped out the Jaguars at the beginning of the season. So
they played already, didn't this? Is the second game already?
They getting them out the way quick, and they lost by 10 the first game. So I don't expect nothing different, man. Jaguars by 10.
Before we get to that, I just have a question for y'all about this. Do y'all think that this is like a organizational malpractice? Because we're seeing like a pattern here where the coach just can't keep their goddamn quarterbacks healthy. It's not even week 8 yet, and man, time even hurt.
And Ash just think he bigger than everybody, and he could truck folks, man. And think he a nigga, and he know he a nigga, but he trying to use nigga tactics on the field. He got to realize, fans, they will beat your ass out here. So that's why they have to teach him to slide. They have to teach him to be a quarterback and keep himself safe. That's all.
That first game that he got hit in the head, I believe it was against the Colts, week 1, and he was recklessly trying to drop. Or the Jaguars, my bad. He was recklessly trying to drop, dive into the end zone. I think on a 2-point play, and he got his fucking head kicked in. And they were already like Banks said, they were losing by 10. And then the one last week, it was a design rollout, and he just got driven straight into the ground on his throwing shoulder. I mean, there's nothing you really could do about that. They just need to find ways to protect him and use him. And I think he's going to go through, kind of what Justin went through. As you see Justin's maturation over the last couple of weeks, Justin is, if it's not there, he's throwing that motherfucker away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take these unnecessary hits. And, Ant has been getting smoked, and a lot of it is on him.
Definitely. I agree with that. Y'all got me on that one. I was trying to slander the Colts here, but shout out for the non-biased coverage by my team. I appreciate y'all for that. So Courtney, which way you on with this one?
I'm going Jags, especially with no Anthony Richardson. He was showing some real flashes of greatness, but as long as he's on IR, I don't think that team stands a chance. I got Jags by at least 10 again.
Jags by 10. Dante, where you going, brother?
I'm going Gardner Minshew revenge game, man. I'm gonna go with the Colts. I got the Colts. Colts by 7.
I see.
Colts by 7.
By TD. Okay.
By TD.
We got our J.R. Bain pick of the week.
Jags gets me about 15 fantasy points. I don't care who wins.
We'll call it the Bang upset pick of the week. That's what Dante just did. Let's see what we got next. We got Dolphins and Panthers. Oh my God! I don't even. We ain't even got to do no in-depth.
This one of them shits where everybody put all 5 up, like just Dolphins.
Hey, them niggas might score another 70.
It's about 3 of those games this week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Take the. I'm taking Dolphins more than 17. Like, I'm just gonna take a highest number and see what happens.
Fans, every Panther loss we get is just one week closer to Super Marv in navy and orange at a Soldier Field near you. So keep losing. Carolina Panthers, man. We all going with the Dolphins, man. This next one is also going to be an ass whooping because Freaky Sean is not playing. He has been ruled out for the game against the 49ers. This is a weird situation here, which is weird situation to Deshaun Watson. Where have we heard that before? But this is a weird situation where he's actually been medically cleared to play, but he has not felt comfortable with himself playing in these games.
You know why?
Can't get mad at.
You know why he's not feeling comfortable in playing?
Why he's feel comfortable? He ain't had no massages lately.
He can't get that shit rubbed on. He can't get that shit rubbed on, Jack. Let's be real.
Hey, we a month after the season. He out of his routine.
Now all of a sudden he don't feel comfortable when playing. He's medically cleared, but he don't feel comfortable because he can't get the warm touch.
Nigga only got one massage there.
Allegedly, reportedly, I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
The views
The views of this group.
Oh no, that shit ain't alleged. He did that shit. Wait there's no alleged. Beretta did that shit. No, sorry. It is what it is, brother.
Hey, he don't want.
Number 4.
He don't want Mr. Miyagi to do it, fam. He don't want.
He gotta go, bro.
Nah, he don't want. I don't know if y'all remember that episode of Entourage where Drama brought folks to the that fucking hotel in Vegas to give them the massage. He's like, these are the only hands I need. That's what Sean Watson right now, bro. That's what's going on. But this game, I think, is going to be one of them games where you gotta put the kids to bed, because what the Niners defense is finna do to fucking Tyrod Taylor, who couldn't even make the Bears roster.
PJ
Walker, my bad. See, look, this doesn't help my
you
black
racist. You racist. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No ass, no Brock Purdy name, but you want to say
like, where did that come from? Like,
right.
Tyrod Taylor is starting for the Giants this week. He just confused 2 mediocre black quarterbacks with each other.
Wait a minute, PJ Walker.
He's starting for the Browns.
He's starting for the Browns.
Homie from UCLA hurt or something?
No, he's not.
No, they just said he's ass. They said he's ass.
They said have a seat, brother.
Dorian Thompson was
so disappointed.
I apologize to Tyrod Taylor. I apologize. I got you mixed up with another mediocre black quarterback. I apologize. This is not helping me out, but I will go with the Niners in this one. I feel that defense is going to punch them in the mouth. I think this will be over pretty quickly. Brock Purdy get a couple touchdowns, man. I think this is going to be a blowout, and they're going to continue to look like the best team in football, like we've been saying on this show. So I'm going with the Niners. Does anybody disagree with me? I pretty think this is all everybody on the same page.
Hell no. Matter of fact, bang,
upset.
No. I said I agree, and and I was like, hell no, when I heard people this morning talking about that could be a possible upset, and I was like, yo, who did cocaine this morning? Like, who did a line or 2 this morning and thought that the Browns are gonna have any chance going up against the San Francisco 49ers?
Listen to that, hey man, Bosa gonna see PJ Walker on the other side of that line. That shit gonna feel like January 6th to him. He's gonna lead the league this week in sacks. 6 sacks, Joey Bosa right there.
Yeah. No, I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think they'll win by 10. Like, the Browns defense ain't trash, so like I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think the Niners are definitely gonna win.
Yeah, I think Run CMC gonna get sturdy on them niggas this weekend. But let's go to this next game. We got an NFC South and an AFC South matchup here. We got the Texans hosting the New Orleans Saints, Courtney's New Orleans Saints. CJ Stroud, man. Yeah, he said I like that. CJ Stroud, man, is starting to look pretty good. Of course, he's a rookie, and we got to be careful about putting rookie quarterbacks on the pedestal too early. But I think he's been playing really good. He would have had a game-winning drive last week if it wasn't for the Texans defense just completely giving up the draws to Desmond Ridder on that last drive. How do y'all see this game going, man, against the Saints?
I think the Saints defense has been underperforming. I also think that the Texans offense is kind of starting to find a rhythm. That being said, I got the Saints because I am biased first and irrational first and realistic second. So yeah, I got the Saints. Don't think they're gonna win.
I'm gonna ride with the Saints too. I just think CJ Stroud has been balling. I think he's probably in the lead for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I just think the Saints are gonna find a way. I know Tank Dell is out for the Texans, so that's a nice little security blanket for CJ Stroud. They're probably gonna lean on the run game and some Nico Collins, some Dalton Schultz. But I think in the end, the Saints will find a way. This has a sneaky good potential written on it in the 1 o'clock window. So I definitely will be tuned in. But I'm gonna ride with the Saints.
Yeah, I got Saints as well. Again, CJ Stroud is another guy that I really like. I was at the game this week when they played the Falcons, and he was, like I said, some of the throws he was making. We always talk about rookies anticipating throws and throwing people open, and he did that a lot. Like, he wasn't sitting there waiting, locking in on one guy. He was really running the offense in the flow, doing this thing. So I think he's gonna have a good game, but I think I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I'm gonna go with New Orleans at home.
I'm gonna go against the grain and go with the Texans, man. Go against the grain. I picked them first, and then when y'all start talking about the Saints, I was like, "Fuck it, let me go with the Saints." But then, nah, man. I think that the defense though is going to give him his first interception. Like I don't think it's good. Like, I think that's gonna happen. But no, man, I got the Texans.
Yeah, I'm a echo those statements. I'm gonna go with Texans. I don't know why I said that. I'm going with the Saints. What do I think? I'm going with the Saints. I think that even though both defenses have kind of been whatever lately, I'm gonna go. I trust the Saints defense more than I trust the Texans defense, especially with the way they gave it up in that last drive last week to Desmond Ridder. Had that nigga looking like he was like good. We all know that's not true. I think they'll be able to make a couple more plays. I think, like you just said, Dante, they'll be able to give him his first interception. I think they'll be able to do what they need to do. So I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints in a win over the Houston Texans this week, man. So I'm going to go with that. Let's go to our next game, another nasty game. The Raiders and Patriots, man.
My God.
Yeah, it's just nasty football, bro. Like, it's just, who cares who win this game? That's what I'm saying. Who gives a shit?
There's going to be a lot of racism in that stands again. We're going to have somebody up there dining with Robert Kraft next week.
This game is in Vegas. There's going to be a lot of drunk people.
It's in Vegas.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of drunk people wondering, why did I pay to go see this fucking game?
You don't remember what I'm talking about?
No, what happened?
When it was like last season or 2 seasons ago,
Yeah.
Black Raiders Patriots fan was at Raider Stadium, and there were some racist Raiders fans.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then the next week, he was up in Robert Kraft's suite.
Oh, no. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. That's right. Raider fans are a special bunch. They just really Niners fans. They had a question on Twitter. They asked who's more violent, Raiders or Niners fans? And shout out Damien. We all know Damien. Damien said Niners fans. He said them Samoans body slam you through a table in the parking lot.
The bloodline to fuck y'all ass up.
The bloodline to fuck y'all niggas up.
Bloodline to fuck y'all up.
In that SoFi parking lot.
And they are San Francisco 49ers fans. Like, so you know, like, them niggas don't trust no Samoans, man.
You go to a Rams Niner game, you better come like remember on the episode of Wire where Omar got arrested and they had to put them phone books in that nigga's shirt? That's how you got to come to SoFi if it's like a Niners or a Rams game, man. That's like that NFC Championship game 2 years ago. I was telling niggas like you might not want to walk in there with nothing on you, bro. But this is gonna be a nasty football game. I'm gonna go with the Raiders just because Mac Jones is probably top 3 worst quarterback in football right now, and we've already added Bill Belichick to be a family man records, but he has no choice right now but to roll with that nigga. And I think that Jimmy G be able to make some more plays than Mac Jones. And I do believe guys like Max Crosby and that defense be able to do to Mac Jones what they did to Jordan Love last week. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders. You pretty much said it all. The Patriots it's getting nasty out there, but no, they're gonna have a good draft pick next year. But on Sunday, I got the Raiders.
I'm going Raiders too. You let the Saints put up 34 on you, and you don't score a single point at home. That's just it's unacceptable. I'm going Raiders by like 13.
About 13 too. Okay,
damn.
Nice sizable amount.
They getting smacked.
I got the Pats, man. I think. Hey, nothing like getting Bill. Hey, nothing gets Bill Belichick back in order like going up against his former coaches. So I think that this is going to be another situation where he's going to get one over on one of his former coaches. So I got the Pats by 3, game-winning field goal.
Okay.
Shit, I didn't think of that, the Bill Belichick going up against his pupils narrative, but them motherfuckers have not scored in 35 straight offensive possessions. 35 straight. Yeah. So if you think they're gonna win by 3, that's it. It's the 3-0 game. That's the only shit that's gonna fit. But I got the Raiders, man. It's gonna be a nasty game, and I'm gonna ride with the Raiders.
Let's go to this next game, and I feel like this is a sneaky good game right here, man. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Detroit Lions in Tampa. This is a sneaky game. I'm still gonna go with Detroit because, like we said on the show on Monday, Detroit is one of those teams who could be a party crasher as far as us wanting Niners Eagles NFC Championship game rematch. They could make some trouble for that. But I think this is a game that if Tampa won, I wouldn't be shocked because they're home. They've been playing well. Baker Mayfield's been playing well. Their defense has been playing well. But I'm gonna take the Lions in a very close game, probably their first real scare of the season. But I'm gonna go Lions by a field goal. But I think this is gonna be a fun game.
Quick question, because I was actually just thinking about it because I know we were talking. Well, I was mostly talking about how Russell Wilson didn't have any receivers. Mike Evans is a free agent after the season, right?
Yes,
he is.
Can the Broncos afford Mike Evans?
Probably. But if you're Mike Evans, why do you want to go there?
Yeah. Would he want to play there? It was just a thought. It was just a thought that I just had right at this particular moment. I gotta go. I gotta go Lions. Like you said, though, I think it's going to be a lot closer than maybe we originally think. I think it's going to be a sneaky good game. But I got Lions by 3.
Yeah, I got the Lions. That's actually a 3-point spread, so they are predicting it to be a close game. It's not going to be too hot down here. We're dealing with some rain this week, but I like the Lions. It's a close game. I mean, they're going to be down Jahmyr Gibbs again. I haven't seen. I know he's out for sure. I haven't seen if Amon Ross St. Brown is going to play, but I think the Lions will be able to move the ball against the Bucks, man, and I think they get another win and they move to 5-1.
Fucking Detroit Lions 5-1. What the hell is going on with the world?
Yeah, I got Lions too, G.
Man,
I got the Lions. I got the Lions by 6.
Lions by 6. We all got a very close one here, man. We got just 3 more before we move on to our MLB talk. Rams Cardinals. This is, what's funny? This could actually be probably sneaky good too. Just the way the Cardinals been playing football. I like how the Rams been playing football too. But I'm gonna go with the Rams in this one. Rams by like a touchdown.
What time does that game come on?
That's a 4.
Well, it's 1:25 on the Best Coast.
Nap time. That's what time it comes on.
Nap time.
This the go be on a beer run game.
That's for Courtney. That's the nap time before the Rangers Astros game. That's what that game is.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I got the Rams, man. They should win this game because the call gonna come down.
The call gonna come down. Yeah,
call gonna come down. We gotta get back in. We gotta get back in the sweepstakes, y'all.
Niggas been trying to.
We gotta get back in.
I got the Rams. Cooper Kupp's back. Cardinals lost James Conner. I think they'll still play hard, but I think some of that shit we saw the first couple of weeks from them is about to go down the drain.
Yeah, I agree. Rams.
This next game was the topic of conversation in the group chat before we started. Jets Eagles. Now, Courtney, you said you have the Jets in a sneaky win here. That's what you.
Yeah, that was originally off the record, but yeah, I got.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know picks were off the record. My fault.
That's all I got. That's all I got for you.
My fault. I gotta practice better group chat etiquette over here. That's a flag on me. 5-yard.
It's all good. We taking Courtney's jet. It's all good. It's all good when it comes to Courtney's jet.
It's like the reporters in the chat. It is not a sanctuary. Off the record in the group chat.
We riding with them birds, man. I'm gonna take the Eagles. They'll find a way, move to 6-0, and even though it hasn't been as dominating as it was for them last year, I think the Eagles are starting to figure it out. And I think this is going to be a sneaky game. They're down Darius Slade, they're down Jalen Carter. They will both be out, so there will be opportunity for Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, to connect and make some plays. But at the end, I got the Eagles.
Hey man, letting y'all know, man, it's the Tim Boyle game.
The Tim Boyle game.
We gonna see Tim Boyle this game, fam. The Eagles gonna get that ass. Nah, they not, man. Nah, Eagles gonna win by I'd say about 21. This is gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, I agree.
But we gonna see Tim Boyle in this game. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna try to joke around and be like, yo, this is gonna be an upset. But now, hell no. Hey, Eagles is gonna whoop the Jets ass, and Tim Boyle is gonna get some reps.
I got Jet. No, I'm sorry. I got Eagles by 10.
Oh, I thought
Eagles
you were
by 10.
riding with me. I thought we were
Can't do it. Not on duty. I can't do it.
Yeah, Dante hit the wheel. Yeah, that's why he fucked up.
Can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't win with him.
Can't win with him. Can't do it.
Won't do it.
I'm gonna go with them spoiled ass Philadelphia sports fans. They're gonna have a good weekend with the Phillies being in the NLCS for the second year in a row, and the Eagles gonna be 6-0. I think I'm with you, man. I think the Jets gonna get the Foo Fops beat off them. I'm tired of this. Look at Zach Wilson. He can throw a pass down the field. Like, stop it, bro. Like,
you know why I know they gonna get their ass beat?
Why?
Because everybody and their mama had a great game against that damn defense of the Denver Broncos. And he came in and he shit the bed.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That the Broncos are the get right game, and he did not get right at all.
Yep.
Last game, of course, we'll do Monday Night Football here too, because since we're not gonna be on the air on Monday, Bills Giants Saturday Night Football in Buffalo. There will be no Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor will be starting. See, I got it right. Fuck y'all. Tyrod Taylor will be starting. This is going to be an ass whooping of epic proportions again. I think what our guy Josh Allen is going to do is going to be filthy. It's going to be a couple touchdowns between him and Stephon Diggs. I've got the Bills got this one running away. This one might be over mid-second quarter, so I'm going to go with Bills Mafia on this one.
This game will be preempted by SportsCenter. We're going to be watching SportsCenter by the second half, fam. This is an ass whooping waiting to happen. Go Bills. Bills Mafia, you know what I'm saying? Bills Mafia, insane vice lords.
I still got Josh Allen throwing a minimum of one pick. Just so
well, that's probably gonna happen. Yeah. He wakes out the bed and throws a pick.
Minimum.
Yeah, I got Bills. I got Bills by 17.
Okay.
I think, like you said, they're gonna smack them, bro. I don't think it's gonna be close.
I got Bills by 21. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I got the Bills big. I got one for y'all. Chargers Cowboys.
Yeah, okay, so that's perfect segue. Segue king here. Monday Night Football, Chargers Cowboys, man. Last game before we move on to our baseball coverage. Man, we talked about this with Ashley a little bit. Where this is a lot on the line for the boys here, man. I feel like it's a lot on the line for the Chargers too. This game is in Dallas, right?
No,
it's in LA.
It's in Dallas West. It's in Dallas West.
Yeah, that's a Dallas home game. I mean, all these Cowboys fans, holla at Dante if you need a ticket. I just remember they got their training facility out here. That's gonna be a home game. I'm still going with the Chargers, man. I'm still going with the Chargers. I do think Micah Parsons is gonna have a great game, like you and Ashley said earlier, Bang. But I don't trust Dakota. I just don't trust Dakota Prescott, like we said on Monday. I trust Jay Herbo better. My man Khalil Mack, he had 6 sacks last week. I think this defense will make some more plays, and I just do not believe in the Dallas Cowboys offense right now. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers by at least a touchdown on Monday Night Football.
You right. I don't trust Dakota Prescott either. I trust Micah Parsons. And I trust that he going to get over 4 sacks, and I'm still going with that 6. That's going to be his match game. So it's still going to be a close game, though. I got the Cowboys by 4. So, yeah, there we go.
Cowboys 31. Go ahead.
No, you got it, bro. You just put a score out there. Go ahead. Go crazy.
Cowboys 31, Chargers 29.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. I was thinking 27-24 Chargers. I do think it's going to be a field goal game. I think, both offenses are going to get some points. But to everybody's point, and we've been saying for a while, I think Dak is getting to that point where it's he was a 6th rounder. He was like a 4th or 6th rounder.
4th, I think.
4th. Yeah, he was a 4th rounder for a reason. He's played to his ceiling, and it's one of those guys where everything had to be perfect around Dak for them to succeed. And
But what about them? Isn't already? I mean, yeah, they lost Trayvon Diggs, and now they're kind of, slowly losing a couple of pieces. But everything was set up for them to be great this season.
They have no dogs. That's the issue with the Dallas Cowboys. They have no dogs on the offensive side. They have nobody on that offensive side that's going to be like, all right, put the ball in my hands, or, hey, just run behind me and we're going to get it done. CeeDee Lamb can't do it when your quarterback is Dak.
See, so the problem, therefore.
So y'all saying it's Trey Lance season? Okay.
I ain't saying that either.
Cooper Rush.
Right, I ain't saying that.
Cooper Rush. Anybody but the cop. Anybody.
Right.
Let's be real. All right, and somebody on the Cowboys, in the Cowboys locker room, is gonna have to change my mind. But if Rain Dakota Prescott went in front of that team and was like, "Yo, we gonna get this. We gonna do it. We gonna try to motivate you," you gonna be like, "All right, man, cool," because you don't want to embarrass him in front of nobody, because he actually is a nice guy. But you gonna turn around and be like, "This motherfucker, man."
fuck Buddy talking about it.
He ain't gonna do shit. All right, fam, we with you, man. This motherfucker, man. And he this close to being that Mexican kid, and that he this close to being that Mexican kid.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's this close. He's not that because they actually like the man. He's a very likable person.
He's a stand-up gentleman.
He's this close though to being shut the fuck up. So,
oh man. So yeah, that concludes our football coverage for today, man. Now let's get into something I know everybody's been wanting to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about too, because that's kind of man. We have not talked baseball. And by the way, man, I just want to say this to start off, man. Everybody kind of pick on my guy taking the media, man. Fuck off, bro.
Hey, Scott, stop moving, man.
Hey, stop, Scott.
I'm not even moving. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah. You gotta.
Yo, man, I gotta get me a new microphone or some shit. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, man, get you a microphone, get the mic stand and shit. And it's just
I got a mic stand.
And put your I'm talking about the shit. Nah, we talking about this shit. Look at me and Dante. Right. And then just hold your chest out and start talking like James Brown, my nigga.
I always know when my shit fucking up. I look in the private chat and the shit be going crazy.
Like Kurt Menefee, nigga. Let's go. Kurt Menefee.
That's a name, nigga. Kurt Menefee.
Kurt Menefee, nigga.
Anyway, what I was saying for my audio went out is we haven't talked baseball in about 2 weeks, about 10 days, some shit like that, since the wild card round started. And we had the homie Jake Mintz on, man. I just want to say everybody's shitting my man in the media. In the words of Logan Roy, man, fuck off, bro. Like, he was just doing his job, and we're going to get into that. I think that's actually the perfect segue to talk about the front runner Atlanta Braves. So pretty much, I'll let Dante explain the situation more.
Yeah, what happened?
Better than I do.
All right, so
but
basically,
like a nice guy to me.
No, he was cool.
No, he is awesome.
Actually, when say what's up to him before the game, he was sitting in the row in front of me, and after the game, Atlanta won. Everybody's excited. They go down to the clubhouse. When Jake was in the clubhouse. He heard Arcia. He overheard him say, "Attaboy Harper." He was basically joking about him getting doubled off. So of course he reports. He does what reporters do. And so it's back to the Phillies, and we all saw Bryce's reaction. Even though one of the best players in the league don't need motivation, but it was bulletin board material, as they say. But it was actually like great throwback journalism, in my opinion, because one thing we want is we want the inside scoop of stuff that you didn't see, that you weren't there, and there was nothing that was off the record, and that's what's really frustrating about it, because once you go in the clubhouse, the players know you're there, and everybody's talking about this on the record, off the record, sanctuary stuff. If a player doesn't want you to say something, they will look at you and say, "Hey, this is off the record." They will specify, don't say this. So I've had conversations with Ron Washington where we've been talking, and he'll stop the sentence and say, "Hey, this off the record," and then keep talking. So all of that is just BS. And so for them to do all of that and then start copping pleas about saying, and they said, "Oh, well, he doesn't really speak English a lot in the clubhouse," just for him to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I said it. Y'all weren't supposed to hear it." It gets to a point where you start to realize that, a lot of people in today's media, they don't realize that, as a journalist, you're not somebody's PR person. It's not your job to try to protect everybody. That's not your thing. Jake was literally there to report on the game, and they really tried to shit on him as if he was just some independent blogger when the man was there on the behalf of Fox, and he's a member of the Baseball Writers Association of America.
Even if he was an independent blogger, it doesn't invalidate him at all.
But and that gets to my point, because like when they did that, it shows what they think about us. It shows you how they feel and the arrogance and the way that a lot of the old guard does not want new people in there. They hate it. Like they do not like it. They don't want the access. And so
I will be speaking on that in my goofy mom.
So wait a minute. This is great. It's kind of what I asked Ashley about, like just that independent media stuff. And I mean, I'm technically not independent media in my regular job.
No, you work for the Death Star.
I don't work for the Death Star, fam, but I do work for I do work for one of the Republic niggas, all right? But the Death Star is not me, y'all. I won't say who the Death Star name is, but
ESPN.
I don't work with ESPN. We ain't that big, but but we are the number one source of African American news and content in the world. So there we go.
Said that in his big ticket voice. By the way,
documentary is very good. But I'm more interested in this because of baseball. Because baseball is so old guard, new guard. We don't fuck with niggas 25 years and younger. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use Buster Olney name, but like all of the old niggas, like you.
Buster Olney, Peter Gammons.
Peter Gammons, Buster Olney, Tim Kirchin. Like all them niggas, like they old.
Tim McCarver before he passed away. Tim McCarver,
right? Like all of the old people do it in baseball media. All right, is it really like old niggas versus new niggas for real? Because them old niggas feel like they've been around since like Ty Cobb was playing and shit.
Oh no, 1,000%, like 1,000%, especially when it comes because how with baseball there's such a heavy reliance on the history of the game. So they feel like they've seen so much of it, there's nothing you can really tell them. And then with the way that the game is leaned toward analytics now, at least in terms of the way we present it to the fans, they do not like that. They dislike that, and it's always interesting when you go in the press box. Like prime example, at the game. You still have a lot of old school dudes who want to wear, the sports coat.
Niggas got the fedora. Do them niggas got the fedora with the press stick?
The suspenders. I'm in there with
a gadget and shit.
Yeah. But then you'll see like the new guard. You'll see the new guard guys like me, like Jake. We were in there, dressed down, casual, jeans, sneakers.
You're gonna be there for 12 hours.
You're gonna be there for 4 hours watching the baseball.
You're talking baseball,
but like to your point, that old guard is definitely there, and it's heavy, bro. It's very prevalent. So it's cool most days, but when you get there, like you start sitting there, you look around, and be like, damn, okay, all right, like I see what this is.
Yeah.
So,
but at the end of the day, like the Atlanta Braves, from the players, from the people that were covering them, the people that actually, report for them throughout the season, they just come across as soft as fuck to me because you won 104 games, you won the NL East, and you played like shit. Offensively, you let you got lucky, winning game 2. It was an amazing comeback, but you didn't want to see the Phillies, and you couldn't score, you couldn't hit, you couldn't pitch. You threw out Max Fried. When Spencer Strider did well in game 1, you couldn't get any runs for him. In game 2, you gave up the lead rather easily. And everything they were doing, they were just deflecting from the on-field play. At the end of the day, it's the fucking playoffs. The play on the field matters. Not what Arcia said, whether he said it in Spanish, whether he said it in Hebrew, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You still got to go out there and execute. Regardless, you threw Bryce Harper a fucking cock shot down the plate, fucking 93-mile-per-hour fastball that he sent to Patterson, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got to execute. So, it was unfair for how the way they treated the homie Jake Mintz, and it was unfair to see other colleagues, other people in that realm, pile on him. Like, what the fuck? Like, what does it matter? Like, what are we not seeing here? Are we not watching the same game? The Braves shit the bed. Whether that comment got out or not, right? Whether the comment got out or not, the Atlanta Braves choked. So what does that have? You know what I'm saying? You just gave Bryce Harper, who was arguably a top 5, top 10 baseball player, you just gave him a little bit more motivation. But I'll tell you what, them motherfuckers lost in the World Series last year. They do not need any more motivation. They're hungry, and they did what they had to do.
Yep, I was about to say the context of that is so important, right? Because if the Braves weren't, or if the Braves were 2-0 going into Philadelphia, that comment would have been a non-factor. But because Orlando Arcia decided to take a victory lap after let's be honest, it was a very lucky break. If Michael Harris doesn't catch that ball out in center field, then that's a totally different ball game, right? But you decide you want to take a victory lap. You know, sometimes emotions run high. We might say things, but to think that anything that you say in the presence of people whose job literally is to report on what you say and what you do and to give additional nuance and context to the game is insanity. And the fact that other players, not just in that clubhouse, but other players around the league, like I saw Kevin Gosman's like, this is such a dangerous precedent to set. Buddy, y'all get time in between when a game ends to cool off, cool down, and then reporters come in. You could have had your opportunity to get all of that out of your system. You chose to wait. And he's not a rookie. Orlando Arcia has been in Major League Baseball for 8-9 years now. He's true to this. He ain't new to this. Stop acting like you took a victory lap early. The whole offense shit the bed. They got outscored 30-7 over the course of 4 games. Just say you can't handle the bright lights against the Philadelphia Phillies. But stop blaming Jake Mintz, because yes, I will go to war for that man. Jake has been nothing but supportive and is incredible at his job, and I won't stand it. Braves stink. Ben said that if the Phillies could get past Atlanta, that they would be a problem. It's giving flashes of the 2014-2015 Royals, and I still think, listen, I'd love to say that the Rangers going to win, but I think the Phillies, it might be their year. That rotation, that bullpen, they're too nice. I don't think anybody is beating them this year.
Yeah, I wanna definitely. I echo Courtney's sentiments 100%. Yeah, Jake has always been cool, and I'm gonna elaborate on this more in my Goofy Mog of the Week, because my Goofy Mog of the Week will be going to Miss Elena Rizzo. Is what I'll be talking about that later in the show. I have no problem with the media have had a problem with us non-traditional media, so I will get to that later in the show. But I will say this. Shout out to Jake, man. Like, he handled that situation with class a lot better than I would have. I'd have told y'all to kiss my ass, and I'm coming for all y'all motherfuckers' jobs, so you better be scared. So I'd have been way more less classy, as they say. So I definitely want to shout out to Jake, man, for handling it the way he handled it. In the words of Suge, what he said in 1295 Award, shout out to Jake. We ride with him. You know what I'm saying? we ride it with him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him and how he handled that situation. But the Atlanta Braves, man, it's a very what did Puff used to say? Bitch assness. There's a lot of bitch assness.
Yeah, it's soft as hell. The fans out there sending death threats to the fanatic. Seek help, bro.
Man. But you know what though? I think I told the story about I did when the White Sox won the World Series, like that year. That year, Atlanta went against Houston in the LCS, and all them
Albert Pujols home run is still not landed.
Man, boy, them Braves fans was talking all types of shit when I was working in that Best Buy in Alpharetta, Georgia. But then when that shit got closed out, them niggas was crying. Look, the one thing I'll say about the Atlanta Braves, right? We seen this in the 90s. They were supposed to be the team of the 90s, but they only got one World Series out of that joint, and they choked all the rest of them. Didn't they win that World Series in during the pandemic?
No,
it was the year after.
No, the pandemic was the Los Angeles Mickeys, them and the Lakers.
Yeah, you're right.
But facing elimination after 1996, you're absolutely correct.
But yeah, even that year that they won the World Series, they wasn't expected to win that shit. They end up like going on a hot streak, you know what I'm saying, after the All-Star break. And then it just carried over into the playoffs. the Atlanta Braves as an organization has never been able to handle the pressure of being the top dog. Because if that was the case, these niggas would be the Yankees right now, and they're not.
Yeah, no, you have right, bro. 6 straight division titles, 6 straight playoff. It's looking a lot like the '90s again, bro. A few decades later, it's a similar vibe going. And you talk about the core, but as a few people have been saying right now after this loss, you won about 206 games in 2 years and haven't made it out the DS. It might be time to make a change. It's like we look at the Dodgers, who've won. I know we're gonna get into them later, but just as far as the hundreds of games that they've won, and they've still, not won anything. So it gets to a point where it's like, what type of changes do you need to make? And I think with the Braves, me and Mikey has said this the whole season, like All-Star break on, like they need to get some more pitching. And like you can't even truly blame the pitching, but I still think that would have made a difference because you had Charlie Morton hurt his finger, so he couldn't go in game 3. So Worker never came back this season. They were banking on him to come back. So that was somewhere where I felt like they could have been more aggressive. And offensively, there's no excuse for the team. You tied the major league record for most home runs in the season with 307. That Olsen, Acuna, Olsen, Acuna, Albies, Ozuna, you don't come out for any home runs. You have one extra base hit between your 4 best, power hitters. So your stars didn't play like stars. And I'm glad. One thing I am glad about that Brian Snickers said this, even though I feel like he got embarrassed as far as managing wise this entire series. He got his ass smoked. But what he said today, and it was very real, he said it didn't affect the Astros last season. The Astros were the 1 seed. The Astros won 11-2 last year and won the World Series. So, I'm sorry, 10-2. But I'm not trying to hear that. The excuses are crazy, and I'm just glad he came out and said that. But it gets to a point, like you said, Bang, it's looking a lot like the '90s, bro, where you have these division championships, but when it comes to getting over that hill, everybody knew they didn't want to play Philadelphia, and once they got that matchup. I told Mike after game 1, I was like, they might be cooked. Like I was hoping they came back just so at least I could get to go cover game 5. But I was like, this is the worst thing they could have done. Gustavo, you absolutely right. RCA will be with the Gwinnett Braves next year. So Tim Anderson.
Facts. And the one thing I want to say as the resident Latino of the podcast, I'm very disappointed in Ronald Acuna. You're talking about this is the face of baseball. He's going to be named the MVP, the National League MVP, in a couple of weeks from now when the season is over. But you cannot face the music at the end of this series. You have to stand up and speak to the media. You have to stand up and you know what I'm saying, and be that leader. And I think Atlanta needs to, going into this free agency period, they need to look to grab. Ronald Acuna is the face of that franchise. They need to go and they need to pull, a veteran Latino player that's going to hold him accountable and teach him that. That's going to be the next step in his maturation process, because you have to stand there and face the music. That shit will not happen in the Houston Astros locker room. I promise you that. And that shit is not going to happen. Where a Jose Abreu, where a Yordan Alvarez, where a Jose Altuve, even Carlos Correa, all of them in the Minnesota Twins, that shit is not going to ride. And being the face of that franchise and the soon to be National League MVP, you can't pussy out. You have to stand there and face the music. Just call it what it is. And it's baseball. Look across the country. The Dodgers won 100 games and they were out and they had to face the music. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman had to speak up, and that's what it is. But you got to stand on business and you got to be 10 toes down. You can't do that shit. You can't skip out on the media. You can't say, oh, well, I got to go catch the bus. And because we're not going to hear from you ever again until next year. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do that. You got to stand up and you got to be the voice, especially for the generation of players of the style that you play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a Latino player, you're flashy, you rock the chains, you rock the Venezuela colors, you got your different cleats, shoes, you got your dreads, everything. You know how they react and how they look at you. They don't like that shit. Don't give them more reason to pile on.
I mean, you just knocked out the part there. I 100% agree with that. I feel like when you're, yeah, you put it perfectly. I think when you're a guy like Ronald Acuna Jr., who was one of the faces of the league, you've been in all the commercials. You've been in, all over. You've had an amazing 40-70 season, and you go out there and you lay an egg. You got to take the blame that comes with it. If they'd have won this series and he had a great series, we'd be praising Ronnie. We'd be like, oh, this is amazing playoff performance. He really took what he did in the regular season and just capitalized on it. But you gotta go out there and face music, like he just said. What Freeman did and what Mookie did, they took it on the chin, and that's exactly what you want to see from Ronald. Now he's young, he'll learn better, but you need to knock that shit in the bud right now. And the Atlanta Braves in general, they got to get their mind right, man. They really went out like some suckers, man. Let's move on to a team that is in this city that I live in, of Los Angeles. That is Los Angeles Dodgers. I have been out here. This is my 10th postseason since I've been a resident out here, and these niggas have failed every time, with the exception of the little bubble season in 2020.
Put some respect on them. They won in 2020.
I'm not putting respect.
No asterisk. We don't put one on 2017 for the Astros. No asterisk for 2020. Thank you so much.
I'm not doing it, and this is why I'm not doing it.
It's kind of hard to hear a trash can bang in that stadium. You feel me? So, it's still difficult.
I'm not doing it with them. They didn't do it with the holes in the building. I'm not giving it to them. Just like I don't give their Los Angeles live counterpart Los Angeles Lakers any love either in that little Mickey Mouse bubble they was there. That's just how it is. As far I've seen one parade since I've been in LA, and that was the Los Angeles Rams. And remember when LeBron got on that nasty time, man, we separate. I'm like, have some shame, Raymond. Have some damn shame, bro. But let's talk about the Dodgers. Let's think about Clayton Kershaw, man. I like Clayton Kershaw. I really do. I like him a lot. I like to call him Clayton Crenshaw. They love him out here. He's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen in my life. Amazing career. But my man don't be cutting it come playoff time, dog. And I understand that Dave Roberts didn't have much of a choice to start the series off with Clayton because of the injuries they've had to other guys in the rotation. We also had another guy in the rotation who probably would have been starting game one if he kept his hands to himself. So they were really in a predicament to begin with. But he might have to join Family Man Records too. We might have a 5-man Family Man Records roster right now, man. I'm Courtney. I'm gonna let you get the wheel on this one. Go ahead.
Now we all know that I am a Clayton Edward Kershaw super stan. I've been since I was a kid. He's been my favorite. Clayton Edward Kershaw.
All right.
Okay, been a big fan since I was a kid. He's still to this day one of my favorite pitchers. That being said, I do absolutely acknowledge that he has struggled in the postseason, 100%. I also recognize that his current manager maybe doesn't necessarily put him in the best circumstances. I don't know if I would have started Clayton Kershaw in game one. I think putting Bobby Miller in a situation where you basically have to take game two in order to avoid the sweep in game three is asking for a lot out of a young, upcoming pitcher. It's inexcusable what happened, obviously. Like, the pitching gave up a shit ton of runs. It's unacceptable, though, how the bats disappeared. Mookie Betts. I love Mookie. Everybody I know knows that I love Mookie, right? But he's what? 3 for 41?
Yeah.
In postseason at bats. The last what? 3
years. 3 seasons.
That's unacceptable. Freddie Freeman batting 100 in NLDS play. You can't have that out of the top 2 guys at the top of your order. You just can't have that. You're supposed to be the rally starters, and you're a rally killer before you even get to the third out. That's crazy. And it's unacceptable. And, we can put the blame on anybody. We already knew that this pitching was starting, from behind. But, like, the offense can't disappear like that. You simply can't.
No, I agree with you.
I think a conversation about Dave Roberts. Okay, that's it.
Oh yeah, I think Dave Roberts is a suspect every year. Every year the season ends, Dave Roberts is a suspect. But honestly, I think the Dodgers, they picked the perfect year to choke, considering that all of the teams that won 100 games this season they only got one win. They went 1 for 13. So the Orioles are out, the Rays were out, the Dodgers, the Braves. So I think the Dodgers picked the perfect year to flunk, just because now it's not looking like it was just like, oh, the regular Dodgers fluke. It just happened, league wide in the playoffs. But I was never high on the Dodgers this season, just obviously because of the uncertainty with their staff. They lost Dustin May, they lost Walker Buehler early. Then Urias. I think, like when Miguel Rojas, like this was not one of the better Dodger lineups that they strolled out there. They were just, fortunate to be able to beat up on the Padres early, beat up on the Giants, beat up on some teams. But when it comes down to it, like you said, Courtney, I agree 100%. Mookie and Freddie, the buck stops there. They bat 1 and 2 in the lineup. When you go 1 for 23 against, in this series against the Diamondbacks, and the one hit was an infield single, an inconsequential single, because the Diamondbacks were already up 6-0 in that game. An infield single from Freddie Freeman, that's not going to cut it. But they showed you throughout the season they didn't believe they had a shortstop, because they went and they picked up Kike Hernandez. They picked up Amed Rosario. They have Miguel Rojas there just by default. So this wasn't one of the better Dodger teams. Putting Bobby Miller out there, like, come on, that's a rookie, even, like picking up Lance Lynn, like when they put Lance Lynn out there, I thought they would have a chance in that last game. You can go on my Twitter timeline. I had predicted 2 of the 3 games right that day. And I thought the Dodgers would at least advance, because I thought Brandon Pfaadt wasn't necessarily that good, but, they're going to have to go big game pitching hunting, because you can no longer rely on Clayton Kershaw. You can no longer, Julio Urias was already a free agent. That motherfucker might not be in the league next year, based off of what he did. And for J.R. Bang, you don't know, he put hands on his shorty at an Inter Miami game over there.
It's not the first time either.
He's already been suspended for some other shit. Trevor Bauer is obviously, we know about him. He's gone. So, you're looking at
Freaky Trevor.
Right. And then you don't know what the timeline is for Dustin, for Dustin May coming from the Tommy John, Walker Buehler. So, this Dodgers team, they're going to have to go and spend some bread, and spend it quickly, because you have to, Mookie Betts is not young. Freddie Freeman is not young, and that's where your money's at. So,
and the Diamondbacks just made it this far. You think they're going to take a step back when they lose to Philly?
And the Padres will not be asked next year. And the Giants were eager they wanted to give Aaron Judge that bag. He just didn't go. So they got the money. So
they wanted to give Correa that bag too.
Right. So the Dodgers, they just got lucky this year that the Braves shit the bed.
All right, so I got a question. As the person who used to love baseball but fell out of love in it, but I know some of the shit that y'all talking about. I ain't that far out the shit. I guess, where does the future former Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim great players fit in there? Like where, and when it comes to this offseason, and with some of the teams that we see leaving, like get put out, because like the best teams, quote unquote, are not gone. So as they look to re-up this next season, and try to at least get back to where they are and further to the World Series, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking more Mike Trout than anybody, because it feels like we're finally about to see him exit the Angels. So where could people like him wind up, and how could it affect the league?
I mean, Shohei obviously going to the Dodgers is kind of like written in the stars.
Damn, yeah.
I don't think that necessarily helps the Dodgers' chances of winning a World Series improve. Love Shohei Ohtani. He's a fantastic batter. I think unless he's, pitching out of his mind, which
we ain't gonna be able to do.
He's not pitching for next year, right?
Yeah, he's not pitching next year. Yeah, he out to 2025.
Shohei Ohtani. Like you're not expecting that of Shohei Ohtani. He's the best pitcher in Anaheim because that's not a lot to ask for. But like in a market like LA, he should be, a 3-starter, a 2-3 starter at best. It still doesn't move the needle because, like Mikey said, they need a shortstop. They don't have that. They let that shortstop, both of their shortstops actually, in Corey Seager and Trey Turner, go to other teams, and now those players are playing for the Rangers and the Phillies respectively. So, like, listen, the Dodgers got to spend a lot of money to try to match the energy of everybody else. Mike Trout, brother, I know you like probably the Disney annual passports. That's real convenient being that close to Disneyland. But brother, for the good of the game, for all of us, go to like, you can't go to Philly. I guess their outfield's pretty crowded.
Nah, he's on a collision course to end up in Philly. That's what
he's going home. No, he's going
to Philly. He's gonna be in Philly.
We need to tell
Marsh coming off the bench.
We need to tell Trout what we told Dame the last couple of years in Portland. Run away from the grind, okay? Yeah. Go to a team that has a stacked roster. I would love to see him in Philly. That'd be great. Ohtani, like you said, Courtney, Ohtani's not going to help pitcher-wise, but you know what Ohtani helps with? Ticket sales. Like, we don't know. Like, for people who don't live in Los Angeles, who don't frequent Los Angeles, Anaheim, I don't even know why they call them Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That is Orange County. That's a whole different other county. Like, it's not close. So him coming to LA as a Dodger, first of all, you're gonna see a big ass billboard of this nigga on every corner. But I do think that the Dodgers, they need more arms. I do think Ohtani is something that you would love to see him in the lineup, obviously, but they gotta get better pitching, and that's just really why I wasn't high on them coming into the playoffs either. Because you need arms, come playoff time, and as much as they do need arms, they do need Mookie to play better. They need Freddie Freeman to play better, and I think if anything, you get you Ohtani, and that's just another dangerous bat that opposition has got to respect, man. So, but one thing I always say about the Dodgers, you ain't got to worry about them spending bread. That's going to happen. I think this year was done on purpose because they wanted to enter the Ohtani sweepstakes. So that's why I met with the Dodgers. Dante, did you have anything before we move on to the LCSs? I just wanted to, kind of quickly go over those before we, get into our Bears stuff.
Real quick. Much like Courtney, I too am a Clayton Kershaw stan, and I just wanted to show this to you and Mikey. Remember back when you had to print your tickets out to go to the game?
Yeah.
I still got my ticket.
Don't even accept them shits.
Hold on, I still got my ticket from the only no hitter in Clayton Kershaw's career.
Wow.
Never letting it go, bro. But so
I remember
greatest lefty of his generation, man. Like, lay off my guy.
Lay off my guy.
Finish his career here in Texas, a little swan song. I'll buy season tickets. Book it, Texas.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna become a season ticket holder next season.
That'll be fire as hell. That'll be fire as hell to take Julio Rodriguez and hit 2 home runs off his ass.
Were any of you aware that him and Matthew Stafford grew up together?
Yeah.
That ESPN doesn't mention that every 2 seconds.
I'm about to say that they be on their Taylor Swift shit with that, bro. They gonna let you know every chance they get.
Let's get into the LCS. Let's spend about a little over 5 minutes on this before we get to our Bears coverage. Before we don't get too long on the show today. So ALCS, we've got the Rangers and Astros. Man, this is a division rivalry here, the first ever playoff battle between these two. Who has home field in this? The Astros. Astros have home field in this one. How you guys thinking about this? Because we went from 2 weeks ago, Courtney, you were even scared to watch these niggas, and now
I would like to start, and I'll be quick. I would like to preface all of this by issuing a formal apology to the Texas Rangers Baseball Club. I am so sorry. I know I said that I would not watch. I watched every second. I love you all so much. Go off, Kings. You're going to be so amazing. If you need my elbows, my arms, I'm there. If anybody can give me access, why I ain't got to buy tickets, let me know. Because then things are not cheap right now. Naturally, I didn't expect them to be because they are playing the Astros. It's going to be electric. It's going to be absolutely electric. This is the matchup that everybody wanted. I mean, no offense to the Twins Ain't nobody trying to go watch a mid-off in Minnesota.
Ain't nobody trying to go to Lake Minnetonka in October.
This All-Star or this Lone Star series is really what's best for baseball. And keep in mind that whoever wins between the Astros or the Rangers does have home field advantage against the Diamondbacks or the Phillies. So it's gonna be a good series. I gotta go with the Rangers. I'm going Rangers in 7. Mm-hmm. I think the difference maker, besides maybe the possible addition of John Gray entering this rotation again and having that additional starting pitcher come in, the difference maker here is Nathan postseason.
Oh, now you like him. You like him now.
Listen. I like him. I've always liked Nate Eovaldi. Nathan. He doesn't like being called Nate. Always liked the guy. But when he came back from that start and got shellacked by the Astros, that was a tough thing to watch. The man gave up like 9 runs before Bruce Bochy was like, "All right, yeah, now we'll pull you out." That was tough to witness, especially knowing, in hindsight that, we literally lost the division by half a game. Like that stinks. This also, keep in mind, I don't know if y'all remember back in 2018, that 18-inning game against the Dodgers and the Red Sox in the World Series. That was Nathan Eovaldi, who threw 9 scoreless innings against the Dodgers for the Red Sox. That man might be built for the postseason, because like the games that he started for the Rangers were incredible. You couldn't ask for more. I think if we can get another start like that out of him, I'd let him start game 1. Put him up against Verlander. Let's see what we get.
So you're going Rangers in 7.
I'm going Rangers in 7.
All right, Mikey. How you see this series going?
Man, I'm tossing and turning. I would have I want to know what they do with Max Scherzer. If they elevate him, if he's able to contribute anything. I think this is going to be a high scoring series. I think there's not going to be a lack of, what the fuck? My door, I thought, you know what I'm saying? I was just watching scary movies. My door just opened.
Nah, when you be in the crib, sometimes be noises, nigga. I was in the other room. Yeah, I was in the other room yesterday at like 1 a.m. I thought I heard a sound, nigga. I grabbed my bat, nigga. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I want to take the Rangers off strength that I love their lineup, and I love everything about it. But in the end, man, I think the Astros got this in 6 games, man. I'm just gonna ride with the team that's actually been there before, with the veterans that have been there before. Obviously this is a team that just won it last year. You add Jose Abreu, but I'm gonna ride with the Astros to win this series in 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with Mikey. I'm gonna go Astros in 6. I really want Jose Abreu to get one. And I mean, with the whole grind Dusty's had his entire career, for him to get 2 possibly on the way out, that would just be the icing on the cake for one of the greatest baseball resumes ever. Like I always tell people every chance I get, I mean, the man invented the fucking high five, bro. Like he's done everything on the planet. And, if he can get 2 World Series and get out of there, so I think, that would be amazing. So I know this may be more of a hard over my head pick because the Rangers are really nice and they've been solid all season and they've played amazing this postseason. But I'm gonna go Astros in 6.
I'm gonna go with Mikey and Dante, man. I'm going Astros. Yeah, I mean, this is my thing, and like I said in the sound off, the Astros, man, are I know a lot of people don't want to admit it because the cheating allegations and things like that, and they're just not a likable team. But they are. It wasn't an allegation. It wasn't an allegation. It wasn't an allegation. Reddit did that shit, in the words of Dave Chappelle. But I just feel like they are as close as we're gonna get to a modern era Jeter era 90s Yankees. And I think that they're just built for this kind of moment. I think that if Scherzer does play, then I think this will be a 7-game series. I don't know if he will or not. But I think this is I'm gonna go Astros in 6. It is an emotional pick for me too, because y'all know I love Jose Abreu, man. I'm a big Pito guy. It brought a tear to my eye to see him hit 3 home runs in a series that actually means something. To see him celebrate with the champagne. He wasn't really able to do that with the White Sox because even in the year we won the division, didn't them niggas lose that game or some shit like that? Yeah, they lost the game that they won the division. So like I felt good for Jose. I want him to I want him to go out with the championship. And also, I love him from Dusty Baker, bro. I'm rooting for Unc. I'm rooting for Uncle Dusty to win back-to-back. So I'm gonna go Astros in 6, man. I think that as we segue into the NLCS real quick, I think we're getting a rematch next year, man. Phillies Astros Part 2. And I love what the Diamondbacks are doing. They have been my quote-unquote league pass team all season. I've watched a lot of Diamondbacks baseball this year. They've had a good run, but I think that run ends. I'm rolling with them boys in Philly. I just love that team. And I was a self-proclaimed Bryce Harper hater. He has defeated me. I have nothing else to say about Bryce. Even though he's a Hall of Fame player and a Hall of Fame panderer. Let's be very clear about it. He is definitely panders to that Philadelphia fan base coming up also with the Deion Sanders' personal shirt. But I'm rolling with him. I'm rolling with Nick Castellanos, my man Trey Turner. I just love everything they do in the Phillies. So I'm gonna go with the Phillies in 5 over the Diamondbacks, and I think we get a rematch of last year's World Series.
Everybody made their pick, right?
Well, not for this one. Yeah, we moved on to the Phillies and D-backs.
Yeah, I ain't picking shit. I said the Baltimore Orioles was gonna win.
Just real quick, bro. Real quick, bro. Bryce Harper is a fucking phenom. Like I think sometimes people forget. Know why
you was hating.
This man dropped.
I got a Bryce Harper story. I'll tell y'all off the record in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. And we're not gonna tell nobody either, Scott. But Bryce Harper dropped out of high school to get his GED and go to JUCO so he can get drafted earlier. Bryce Harper was 16 years old, winning a home run derby contest against minor leaguers. This man hit a home run 570 feet. This man is like fucking Paul Bunyan, bro. Like everything that we thought he was gonna do, he's done. I was telling somebody the other day because they were asking me like how would you compare Bryce Harper? I'm like, you remember how in high school everybody was watching Reggie Bush and Noel Devine highlight tapes from when they were in high school?
Yeah.
Like, well, us baseball players, we were watching Bryce Harper at the showcases and those highlights, and all the wild shit he was doing. Like those were our Reggie Bush highlight tapes. So seeing everything he's doing now, like you said, like when we get in this aspect of the coverage and everything we do, you're not supposed to, make it personal and root for players. But Bryce is somebody you root for, bro, because like he's been in the spotlight since he was 15 years old, and he's done everything that they said he was going to do. He just got to get a ring. But baseball is the one sport where it's such a difficult thing to do because there's so many different factors that go into winning the World Series. But in terms of individual performance, no, Bryce is that guy.
I 100% agree with you. With like the same way, like, bro, I could close my eyes right now and I could see the image of his highlight tape hitting a ball at Tropicana Field in a home run derby. He hit that shit to
the fucking wall,
the back wall. Cleared all 40 rows in right field and hit the back wall. Like that shit is like baseball porn. Like Bryce Harper, his trajectory from being a shorty to where he is now, you can only compare it to LeBron James with that type of hype. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way LeBron got the chosen one cover on Sports Illustrated, Bryce has one. You can look it up right now. Yep. He's in Nevada, swagged out back then. With the eye black down here, double taped up. Like Bryce Harper has the career that motherfuckers thought Mike Trout was gonna have. Bryce Harper, you know what I'm saying? Like Bryce Harper, Mike Trout might be the better player statistically and all that when it's all said and done, but Bryce Harper.
But the streets don't love Mike. The streets don't love Mike.
The streets and Artie Moreno.
Bryce Harper is that guy, and it's a massive fuck you to the Yankees, a fuck you to the Dodgers, fuck you to the Cubs, fuck you to the White Sox, because he was looking to go somewhere and be embraced. His fucking dog's name is Wrigley. The Cubs could have had him. They said, nah, not our type of player.
Is Chris Bryant.
Nah, not our type of player. What's his name up in New York? Cashman. We don't think Bryce Harper could translate when he gets older to being a first baseman. He's a first baseman right now, not out of need, not out of because he fell off, but because of injury. he hasn't fallen off. He's fine there. The White Sox, he was there. He was looking for a blue-collar city and fan base to embrace him. He wanted to feel that love, and he's giving it back to Philly. And, hey, man, Bryce Harper, you could say it's pandering or everything, but we grew up and we saw how they embraced AI. AI and win shit there. You know what I'm saying? He won the MVP, and he took them to a finals, but he went out there and he laid it out there all on the line for him. And Bryce Harper does the same thing with Philly. And, you know, like I was mad because I have this Bryce Harper jersey from last year that they sent my mom. Her company does work with, like, they're sponsored by the Phillies, and I had it in stores, but I 100% was going to wear that shit today. Bryce Harper's a cold motherfucker. Trey Turner's a cold motherfucker. Nick Castellanos, cold motherfucker. The Philadelphia Phillies are who we thought the Chicago White Sox were going to be outside of the coming out of the.
Damn.
Zach Wheeler is who we wanted. But
all of them.
He chose.
And we got Dallas Keuchel.
You know what I'm saying? Zach Wheeler is who we wanted, and it came down to the White Sox Phillies. His old lady said, "Hey, we staying in Philly." Bryce Harper, we wanted him. Nick Castellanos, we were talking about it. Hey, we need a right fielder. You know what I'm saying? They got Aaron.
4 goddamn years.
JT Real Muto, like, that is what we wanted. And, you know,
that's what we thought we were getting in Yaz.
Imagine if you had, 100%. Imagine you had that on the South Side. So I'm definitely riding with the Phillies. Last year, before my grandfather died, my grandma told me my grandma's an Astros fan. My grandfather he's a Cubs fan, but he's like, I'm riding for the Phillies because he liked Bryce and he really liked JT Real Muto. So last year didn't happen. I'm riding with the Phillies. I hope they win it all this year. And they're hungry. They're hungry, man.
Definitely. Is that everybody took their pick, right? Everybody took their pick.
I got Phillies in 5, bro.
Phillies in 5. Yeah, you and me.
Fuck it. I'll make a pick, man. Phillies versus the goddamn Rangers.
Okay. There we have it.
Yeah, I'll make a pick.
He said, "Fuck it, I'll make a pick."
Fuck it, man. I won't be a part of this.
If the Rangers beat the Astros,
you gonna cut a promo on here?
Be sick of me.
I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna give you your own segment for you to go crazy on if that happens.
5 minutes.
We gonna wrap this up. I know Courtney. We're getting ready to do our. I don't even know why I call it local anymore. We're just gonna call this shit local segment. Because we ran a little bit over the time today. But Courtney, was there anything you want to say to the people before we get you up out of here and you can start your weekend?
Nah, man. Just roll Tide. Go Rangers. Game on Sunday. I got Jack Leiter, the future of the Texas Rangers, right behind me, looking over my shoulder, like an omnipresent being. I feel real good, man. It's good weekend for sports. Go out, get some fresh air, watch the baseball, drink water, mind your business. That's all I got.
Definitely. So we will holler at Courtney next week. Of course, there's no Monday show. So Courtney, we will holler at you next Friday.
Sounds good, guys. Cheers.
All right, so what we're going to do now, Bang, what's the intro music, man? We're gonna say
it's the local segment.
It's the local segment. Brought to you by
you said no local hours. So it's
no local hours today because we running pretty overtime. It's a local segment provided you by Tim Skilling's retirement party. Here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. We have not talked about the Chicago Bears with Mikey and Dante because of what happened over the week. Of course, you got scheduling everything like that. Before we get into this week's game, Mikey, Dante, how are y'all feeling after the aftermath of Thursday game coming into this week against the Minnesota Vikings?
It's cool. I'm not gonna get too high, too low. I do like what I'm seeing from Justin, and I would like to see that continue because I think he can play his way into, well, I should say play his way out of this ridiculous scenario that we've been, talking about all year. I understand everything that Kalen Williams possesses and, the possibilities that, are there if we do get that number 1 pick. But at the same time, the Chicago Bears, as it currently stands, you're much better off with Justin figuring this shit out and you using that capital to build around him because the haul you can get for that Carolina pick if it does become number 1 is is Willie White shoes type of shit. Like it's franchise changing. So I think as far as the last few weeks, I loved it. Like I said, we knew the Commanders were the Commanders. We expected them to play well. We didn't expect a 40 ball. And so even though most of those went to DJ Moore, I'm perfectly fine with that because that's one thing that we've said. That's why you go get a number one. Everybody's saying, oh, all he did was say, hey, fuck it, DJ Moore down there. Yeah, that's what I pay him for. Like shit like that to go do it. So for me, I'm not going to get too high, too low because we know how the Bears are. But I mean, Flus did look better calling the defense. The linebackers look better. So this week, we're going to get into that later. But as far as the last couple of weeks, I'm impressed with Justin. I'm glad he seems to be loosening up.
Yeah, I'm still upset about that loss to Denver.
As you should.
Because, that's another, because we want to see growth in Justin Fields, but we also want to see growth for the team. We want to see wins, They need to learn how to win. They need to learn how to close out games. Last week against the Commanders, they learned how to close out that game. Shit got tricky in the end, but I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Justin. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the offense. It looks much cleaner. It's kind of like how we have been saying in the episodes before, and every time we've spoken on the Bears offense, it seems like they were treating September as preseason. I think we're finally starting to see what the offense could be, and there's more room for growth. Like, let's not mistake it. Justin left some throws out there on that field last week. He could have had about 6 TDs. DJ Moore could have had about another one and maybe another 60 yards. Darnell Mooney could have got in on the action. So, I think last week showed you they haven't given up on Flus as far as the players. They play hard for him, especially on defense. And now we just need to keep seeing that growth from Justin. And maybe, right now this is a very, very critical stretch for the Bears. You have the Vikings, which is a winnable game. You got the Raiders, which is a winnable game. And then, you got the Chargers. You got 3 games before the trade deadline. You need to know whether you are buyers now for next year or whether it's time to maybe sell off on some of the guys from the old regime that you have no intention of, bringing back. And I'm looking at Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson.
Well, it's funny that you say that because, I was scrolling while we was doing the show. And, I guess like the rumors is that while they're not making flat out calls, that the Bears are entertaining trade offers for Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson is in the last year of his career, and Eddie ain't been the same.
But that's just a new report? Or?
Yeah, it came out that Courtney Cronin was saying that, that they are gauging interest. And these next couple of weeks could determine whether they be buyers or not. I mean, it doesn't even really need to be a report. Let's just look at it what it is. Jalen Johnson's up for an extension. They did not offer him shit, like they didn't offer. And yes, he's great in coverage, but 1 interception in however many years he's playing is not going to cut it. Eddie Jackson is about 2 months away from being on the wrong side of 30. You know what I'm saying? With foot injury. So like what Bang was saying, it's out there, and these next couple games would determine whether they're worth keeping or if we see a sell-off. And we know Ryan Poles has no problem selling off. He did it last year.
Well, the thing is I think this is going to happen whether they grow, they get it or not. See, the thing is that, Tyreek Stevenson fits better in a man type of defense, right? But he's been growing in the position. I think Terrell Smith has also grown during the time where folks' health has been injured. And then Kyler coming back this game. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think with those two, you do still have a good opportunity to get some capital back, right? And then plus that defense stinks anyway. So it really don't even matter. Like, the defense is terrible. It is piss poor. And really, if anything, we need to be having a conversation around that defensive line. And if we could get some, whether it is during free agency, whether it's through the draft, hopefully get some dogs there. But that's not going to happen until the end of till next season. With that being said, though, I don't think letting those two go hurts the team. I think it helps it long term. But looking at the schedule, the next couple of games, you know what I'm saying, and we had talked about this on some dude. Like, I'm not going to get heavily optimistic. What I will say is that it's possible that at least we're not talking about the number one pick being us. My hot take is I believe that the New York Giants are going to end up with the number one pick in the draft. I think they're about to hit them with the Patrick Ewing package. So the tank is in. The league probably didn't told they asked the tank. We need Caleb in a big market. We don't need him in Chicago either because they're going to be good with Justin. We don't need his ass in Arizona. Y'all niggas need to suck for the rest of the year. But we do look at the Carolina Panthers, what they got going on. So, I mean, hey, I'm probably more optimistic as a Bears fan due to more trades and possibly the Carolina Panthers being shitty enough for me to say, you know, that I would be good for them to have a nice little bit of a streak. Panthers lose. Best case scenario, and I'll still be happy.
Yeah, I'll say this much. I think as a Bears fan, we've been in this situation many times where like they'll win a game and you know things go well for the team, for the quarterback, whoever, and the fan base gets excited and then that's screw the fucking pooch. I'm not gonna get too high. I'm not gonna get too low. I do think it makes the rest of the season interesting because I'm still looking at Justin's play more than I am wins. I think that in the situation that we see with the potential to top two picks is that if the Bears are there at the number one pick and they don't have, and Justin has been either shaky or he's been good, but he hasn't been great. I think it's a no-brainer. They're gonna go with Caleb Williams. I think the best thing for me, what I personally want, I want Justin to play well, and I want the Bears to play, to get a couple wins. Maybe they finish in 3 or 4 or some shit. And Panthers at the worst, I think, are going to be the number 2 pick. So you still get you a chance to go out there and get you a Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe one of those defensive ends out there who you can add to the team. But as far as the team moving in the right direction, I think these next 5 games are going to tell us. I think as these next 5 games are as close to winnable as possible. You know what I'm saying? I think if you look at the Vikings are going to be without they're going to be without
Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson's on the IR. I know that Jordan Addison will be playing, but he's not 100%.
No, I know that. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be something that's going to be big for them.
No, yeah, and I agree with you. And you can see if Justin plays this way, right? We know the defense is shit, but if the offense is going this way, you could talk yourself into a team that's 1-4 right now. That's sliding into maybe 7 wins,
I mean, 7 will be crazy. I think they would have to really.
Well, think about it. If you beat the Vikings, you could beat the Raiders. The Chargers game, I'll give it an L. The Saints game, I'll give it an L, right? So what are you at? 3 wins, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Panthers,
win.
That's a W. Cardinals should be a W.
Win.
You got to toss up against the Falcons, right? Now that Packers game, that rematch, that shit ain't happening what happened in week 1. That could be a W. And who's to say the next time you face the Vikings, if you go ahead and send them to 1-5 and then next week they play, I believe, the Niners, they'd be at 1-6. Kirk Cousins gone, you know what I'm saying? And they in the Caleb Williams talk. So the Bears need to, just like you said, they can't screw the pooch and they can't get we won 1 game. We haven't done shit. But if the offense could keep building that positive momentum and Justin could keep doing what he's doing, they could kind of, string along some wins here. So it's like, okay, do you buy now on Chase Young? You know what I'm saying? And get him in here now and have him for next year, like Bang was saying, because you gotta start going for that for the D line. And at the end of the day, I don't care what it is. If Justin keeps playing this way, the only person I want is Marvin Harrison Jr. You can send Caleb Williams and his painted fucking nails wherever the fuck he wants, wherever the fuck Roger Goodell wants his ass. If his ass wants him in Tampa, send him there. I don't give a fuck. But if Justin keeps playing this way, the quickest way to success is with Justin Fields. The eyes, Chico, the eyes. I see it Sunday.
Chico.
He's starting to do what he's supposed to be doing. And if he keeps going, then what's the point of restarting?
Yeah, I'm with you too, and I also feel like it sends a bad message to the fan base that if Justin plays well enough to keep him, and I think we talked about this too, Mikey. Like you don't have to pay Justin right away. Like you can let
there's
that fifth
plenty
year,
of,
yeah, you
there's
can
plenty
let
of
that.
outlets.
Yeah, you can let that 4 and 5 years play out. Then you can franchise tag him. Like, there's a lot you can do. And if Justin plays well enough to prove to you he can be the starter of this team, why? I know you want to reset the contract, but why bring a rookie? And it's going to take another 3 years maybe for you to get where you want him to get. And at that point, you're wasting more time in a division that I know Detroit's good, but they got to make a decision on Jared Goff coming up. There's no team in there that's just going to be dominant long term. This is the perfect time for you to build right now.
I'll do you one better. Fuck the fan base. What's the message that sends to the players around the
Locker
league?
room.
Because not only the locker room, Justin Fields is respected and motherfuckers fuck with him around the league because they know last year he was set up to fail and he was still a problem. This year, now we're starting to see what he could do with DJ Moore. What if Justin Fields finishes with even 30? Just give me 30 TDs. 3,600,
which will be a Chicago Bears record.
Right, he gonna shatter all that shit. How can you, after him show you everything you wanted to see, ship him out? What's that say about the Bears as a franchise? What's that say about how they treat their players? You know what I'm saying? And especially somebody as young and dynamic and respected around the league by his peers as Justin Fields.
I agree.
I will say this. It's all just dependent on if Caleb Williams and the Bears match up when it comes to picks. I don't think anybody would be upset at the Bears for grabbing quite possibly one of the greatest prospects in the history of this sport.
It's a lottery ticket at the end of the day, though. That's not saying you know what I'm saying?
Everybody's a lottery ticket. Shit, Brock Purdy is the last fucking pick in the draft, and we having conversations if this motherfucker's elite or not. What I'm saying is that what I hope is that the Bears win and the Panthers win a couple. I do believe the fix is in with the Giants, though. You can't tell me that Roger Goodell ain't say, look, he out? Is his neck hurt? Daniel? Oh, we got to get y'all a number 1 pick. We need that man in New York.
That market.
We need that market. We need that man.
But the Giants probably gonna win a couple games. I don't think
their schedule looks like they got some winnable games.
They got
and they got some games that they should get fucking boned. But
and let's be real, Tyrod can win a couple games.
Nah, Tyrod got Drea. Tyrod got Drea. That's his only win. Let's be real.
Who got Drea?
Tyrod was up in there.
It's his turn.
Nigga. I think he can get you one win. He can get you one win.
But yeah, I still think the fix is in, man, because you need that man to go somewhere else. But then, with that being said, though, I mean, look, I don't need the Carolina Panthers to have the number 1 pick in the draft. Simple as that. I don't want to be in a position
to have
to make that decision.
But take it out of their hands. Take it out of Ryan Poe's hands.
Take it out of Ryan Poe's hands.
I'll say this, man. For you to want them to get a win, I know it's going to, and this is not that I don't believe in Bryce. I think Bryce is going to be a really good quarterback, and I don't like how he's being killed right now because the Panthers did not set him up for this year at all. But if you want them to win a game or two, you probably going to need Andy Dalton to start. Like, if you want them to win a game or two, honestly, because I don't think Bryce is going to be able to get them a win. And if maybe should the Bears might give them that win because it's the Bears.
Hey, you can have it. Hey, dead ass, you can have it. Like, the way I feel right now, if Justin balls out and looks good before that Panthers game, hey man, just have a mysterious hamstring injury. Just have one. I don't want to be in that position.
I'm with you 100%.
Because if I was in that position where the Bears have the number 1 pick in the draft, I can't say, no matter what Justin does this year, that I won't draft Caleb Williams and trade Justin to get capital. I can't do it because then you got to think about the monetary thing. It resets your whole salary thing. I don't want to be in that position. And I don't think that's something that's even envious because the league going to be looking at you like, all right, motherfucker, what you going to do?
Right.
And I don't want that for the Bears, man. For some people, it might feel good, but if Justin is showing us that he's the man, but you got the man that will probably been the number one pick in the NFL draft for the past 2-3 seasons. That's the shit that lead to ulcers.
We're gonna have to have another show, another segment in the future, and just discuss this whole Caleb Williams hype and what they seeing, projection versus reality. Because there's a lot of shit that Caleb does that that's smelly that our current quarterback does, and we kill him for. Not to mention he's about 4 inches shorter than Justin. He's
shorter than Justin.
He's 5'11".
And Justin,
5'11".
He's 5'11", 6 foot.
Justin's not 6 something.
He's just like 6'3", like 6'3".
Justin's not 6'3",
like 6'1",
bro.
6'2".
Justin's not Wikipedia lying. That nigga might be 6 feet. Justin ain't no 6'3".
Ain't no way.
Bro, that nigga's not 6'3", bro. And he's maybe got an inch over my brother. That nigga's not 6'3", bro.
And your brother like 6. Your brother taller than me.
My brother like 6 feet, maybe.
I'm 6 foot. I'm 5'11", 6 foot.
And he just went to the doctor today, so he ain't lying.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe I'm underestimating my brother's height.
I am 6 even, 316. And I am a defensive tackle, and Joe taller than me.
Okay,
that's Justin. And if he Justin about 6'2", 6'3".
You look at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is in that Drew Brees body built. You know what I'm saying? Like
Caleb Williams is Bryce.
With a little thicker.
Pause.
You right. Damn, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
Damn. I think I just heard my girl. I think I just heard my girl say, "No homo."
But I just don't want to be. I just don't want to be in that position though.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% on that too, man. I think that when you when you look at Justin, what's y'all confidence level? On the fact, I'm not saying he's gonna ball out like he has the last 2 weeks. I mean, 8 touchdowns in 2 weeks is crazy. What's y'all confidence level that he can at least be out give you like maybe a 250-yard plus, at least 2 touchdowns passing a game, and more than anything, just look as confident in these look. He's been getting the ball out quicker.
Sunday, I'm confident.
Not just Sunday, but for the entire season.
No. Sunday, I'm confident. That's what I'm saying. Sunday, I'm confident. And if everything goes well on Sunday, I'm confident for the rest of the season, because the one thing that irritated me about the Bears is simple. They didn't play this man during the preseason like that. And Justin, I said it last year, he's one of those quarterbacks that has to get in the rhythm and continue that rhythm. Once you get him out the rhythm, it's it. All right, you're going to have to start that shit all over again. I think game 3, he's in the rhythm. And then that gives me hope for the rest of the season with the teams that you're playing against, including the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm confident. And kind of how Bang said, like, I'm confident if he does it Sunday. It's also what Luke Getsy does. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a propensity to fucking do some crazy shit, start tweaking, and we watching the game like, wait, what happened? Like taking the ball out of his hands. But I think just the little shit, like I said last week, just watching the game, he looks different. If it's not there, he's not taking them sacks. Yeah, he was sacked last week, right? A couple times, but they were just sacks that they were cover sacks. They were just the O-line got beat in the Chiefs game, in the game against the Packers, and the game definitely against the Bucks. He was just deer in headlights. Some of them were on him. So we're starting to see just even the growth there. So I just want to keep seeing it in the passing game. I want to keep seeing it. Khalil Herbert was put on the IR, so it's for sure he's out.
Yeah, man, it's St. Brown. Yeah,
and the wrong St. Brown, and that might low key be big.
That's low key a big loss right there.
But if they got Tunya now to run a little bit more 12 personnel, but I think Justin could ball out. And just speaking to, just off topic about the contract thing. What's to say they don't just come to Justin? If watching Justin Fields, he don't deserve no Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts money, but he can still get paid, and it still helps the Bears. Geno just got 3 for 105. They could still come up with something that doesn't completely break the bank and still build for the future. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's cool. That's just not gonna come until after that. That's probably gonna come when they franchise the nigga.
No, but that's what that's what I was saying. Like in the group chat, they got plenty. The only decision they got to make at the end of this year is, do we pick up the 5th-year option or not? If they pick it up and they don't pass on, and they pass on Caleb, then cool. Justin Short for another year. If he just balls out ridiculously, kind of like how we seen the last 2 games consistently for a whole season, then you're gonna talk into a contract extension. If not, if he gets hurt, you can franchise him. Like they don't gotta, like, the fans are like, oh, all these quarterbacks are resetting the market. Justin Fields ain't gonna reset the market, but if he keeps hooping, he gonna get paid.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the thing that with Justin, like you said, he's not Mahomes, Burrow, or even Allen as far as like you gonna get cashed the fuck out right away. And I'm not saying that he can't be that guy. I just don't think that right now. And I feel like for him to get to that, he'd have to like ball out of control like for the rest of the year. My confidence level, actually, I'll give it to Dante. My fault. Dante, go. What's your confidence level on Justin playing well?
Much like anything with the Chicago Bears, they don't exist. I'm in 100%. I am in 1,000% wait and see mode. I'm sitting here loving everything I'm hearing, and I love the enthusiasm, and I agree. It does look that way, but at this point, as far as just sheer confidence, I'm in wait and see mode, bro, with everything. Like, I agree, the Vikings game this Sunday, he has no reason to not perform in a similar manner to how he has the last few weeks. I ain't saying he's going to go for 4 touchdowns, but he's going to have, like you said, the 250, 2 touchdowns, look competent running the offense. I believe in that, but it's so many other factors that play into it. That's why, like, I know Justin's going to do his part, but is Getsy going to shit the bed and start making terrible play calls again? Because, again, these last 2 weeks have been some of the best play calling we've seen from him.
Yeah,
on the offensive side of the ball. So with it being so many factors, I can't just say I'm confident in Justin, because he can do all the right work in the world, and then they go out there and fuck him over. You feel me? So I gotta say, bro, like everything else with the Bears, I'm just waiting to see right now. G, I gotta. Yeah. I ain't setting myself up for failure again.
I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all on that one. I think that I have faith in Justin. I want to see it consistently, because even last year when he went crazy for like 6 weeks, like there was like a period after them 6 games where he wasn't doing shit. Like, and I feel like we've been so used to him scoring 30 points a game for like a month and a half that I don't think really people talked about it the way you're like, this nigga's not really doing shit. So I want to see him. He's got I want to stay healthy. Him getting hurt with a bomb on it. I think he's healthy, number one. And 2, I want to see him actually. It's more about how he looks more than the actual numbers, in my personal opinion, from him. And I feel, everybody can tell my audio. I got me.
It was you back though.
Okay,
you back now. You back now.
I think I know what it is. Like this microphone might be dying low key, because remember, Bang, when we tried to do summer sessions, you said it sounded like I was underwater.
Yep,
that's how it sounds. Yeah,
I think it's I gotta give me a new microphone. So anyway, yeah. Anytime I look at the private chat, I know it's something about my audio, but it'll be taken care of.
Your ass was wild.
What part sounded like Charlie Brown?
Wow.
Okay, what part did it start on this? I know where to pick off at.
Oh man, keep going. You good?
Okay. No, what I was just saying is I have there's optimism there, but I gotta see it, and that's how we get into this game for this week against the Vikings. Mikey, do you have the odds for this week? Like, are the Vikings the favorite?
Yeah, the Vikings are favored. Depending where you shop, it's basically a field goal game. They're favored by like 2.5, 3. They were originally favored by 3 with Justin Jefferson, so it really didn't drop at all. So the Bears are once again a underdog, and that's Vegas. The Bears have not shown shit over the last couple of years that they cover the number. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna have to just basically play as home underdogs again, and they have a pretty good record at home against the Vikings over the last couple of years.
Definitely. I'm for this game, man. I want to pick the Bears. I really want to. I'm not going to, because this feels like a peak Bears
Trap game.
Yeah, it just feels like you got Justin Jefferson who's on IR. You got Jordan Addison. He's gonna play, but he's been having like a little hamstring issue this week. The Bears have all this feel good mojo coming into this week. Even though they lost against the Broncos, he's putting up points these last 2 weeks. Justin's looking good. It's gonna be a raucous crowd on Sunday. I won't be there, but it's gonna be a raucous crowd. And I've been a Bears fan too long, like Dante said. When it feels too right, it usually is. So I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings this week. It's going to be a very, very close game. I'm going to take the Vikings. I'm going to say 34-27 because I do believe the Bears are going to put up points. But I think that this defense is just going to find a way to fuck it up in the end. But I think Justin will have a good game. But I'm going to say Vikings 34-27 on Sunday.
Man, I got the Bears by 14. Yeah, I got the Bears by 14. I think this is, and they're at home too. Yeah, they gonna score over 30 again. Not saying that Minnesota ain't gonna score, but I think the Bears gonna get them by 14. They're gonna take over in the fourth quarter, and then we gonna go ahead and get it. So bear down.
No, I think no Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna go Bears 24, Minnesota 17. I think it's gonna be a good game. Like I said, this week I do think Justin will be able to do a little more what he did last week. I ain't go like I said, not 4 touchdowns, probably 2 touchdowns, maybe 1 and 1, run for 1, throw for 1. But yeah, I'm gonna go like I said, Bears.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Bears. I see another game where the offense will be able to move the ball. I'm looking at 28-24 Bears. Offense have been able to move the ball on the Vikings. Baker Mayfield went out there, put up some points on them. Like I said, the Vikings are allowing opposing quarterbacks to average about 280 yards passing the last 3 games. So I think there's room for Justin, and you go their secondary is nothing special. So I think there's room for Justin to have another one of those games. The offense to have one of those games. Big Dante Foreman game, no Roshan Johnson, no Khalil Herbert, no Travis Homer. So, run the ball. We're going to run the ball off play action. And I think the Bears will be able to find the way and get the 2 and 4. And, we go from there. But I like the Bears in this game. I was on record not being high on the Vikings. Even with Justin Jefferson being healthy, I'm definitely not high on them now. You got to, even though that they're coming back from injury, you still got the a secondary with Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, Kyler Gordon to be back. So you just got to contain T.J. Hawkinson because we know that's who Kirk Cousins is going to really try to feed this game. But I'm liking the Bears this week, and we'll see.
I really hope I'm wrong. I would love nothing more to be wrong, not just as a Bears fan, but as a member of the Bears media. I want some intrigue covering the rest of the season. If I'm going to be going away to all these cold weather cities, I want to be going for a fucking reason. So I do hope that I'm wrong about Sunday. I do hope that the Bears pull this out, man. So that's going to really conclude everything. I'm going to kick this off or end this off with my Goofy Mog of the week, man, before Dante gets us up out of here. I'm gonna give this to Elena Russo, and not just her in particular, but just really traditional media as a whole. I don't really like, you can feel the insecurity and a little bit of fear when it comes to traditional media. And I'm not saying that all traditional media is like this. I've run into a lot of traditional media in my time here of covering the Chicago Bears and also covering the Los Angeles Clippers. As a lot of cool people. So I'm not saying this as a whole. I'm just saying there's some, and I feel like a lot of insecurity comes out when you see us doing our jobs or we come into these spots and they have that elitist view of how'd you get a credential, and just even the nasty things she said about Jake. I'm not just saying this just because I fuck with Jake, that's our guy, but just in general, I see this a lot. I know Dante, you see this a lot with you covering the Braves and just the nastiness that comes with it. And I just want to tell all y'all, in the words of Dion, I said I got my Buffs hoodie on. We coming, bro. Like, this is the new era of sports media. You're gonna have to deal with people like me, like Dante, like Mikey, like Ashley. Ashley's coming on, she's doing her thing. Like, a lot of people we have on this show are doing their thing in their non-traditional media. So you just gotta accept that this is I don't want to say the end of what you guys are doing, because I feel like there always will be some type of space, even if they move over to what we're doing. It's a new era, man. As long as you have guys and women who are coming in and they're respecting the art form, they're out here actually giving informed opinions and actually doing an actual job and not just there for a clout or just to do corny shit. I think you just need to embrace it and to, you know, make moves with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't stand in the way. You know, work with these people, because, you know, that's what we're trying to do. And if not, especially like a nigga like me, if you ain't trying to work with me, I'm just gonna run your ass the fuck over. Like, either way, I'm gonna get it. Barbershare gonna get it. A lot of people gonna get it, man. So I'm gonna give my goofy mog of the week to people like her and just traditional media who are scared of the future of sports media and everything that's going on with that. So that's all we've got for y'all today. This is the longest episode of the show. We clocking on 3 hours now. Shout out to Ashley for joining us, man. It's always great to have her on. Shout out everybody who watches the show. This is our 10th episode, man. 10 episodes already in the can. There's no show on Monday because, you know, Bang went to the doctor today. I'm going to the doctor on Monday. Black men, go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, check in with yourself. Don't be like
Black men unite.
Black men. Don't be like our grandfathers and things like that. Like, my grandfather was like, I ain't going to no damn. That's what you tell my dad. I ain't going to no damn doctor. Like, no, go to the doctor. Get you checked out. Yeah, even if there's something wrong with you might want to know ahead of time before some bad shit happens, man. So there will be no show on Monday, but this is a long show, so I will be making clips. I always make clips. I'm gonna make more clips than usual. We're gonna space them out. So if there's different segments you want to check out, we got y'all covered for the next week. And if you missed Mikey's weekly parlay, the clip will be out on Sunday morning for y'all.
Real quick, shouts out to my cousin Vince. He been checking out. He said, "Oh, thank you, Ashley, too." So he's very excited.
Shout out to Ashley. She is a friend of the program. I'm gonna add that. We're gonna have a friend of the program list. Hun Taylor Rook. Shout out to everybody, friends of the program. We will be back next week. Is there anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Hey, brothers, y'all have a great weekend. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for a Bears win. Bet down. Bet down, ho. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's it.
Shit, man, y'all be safe, man. It's a good sports weekend, man. We got Caleb Williams against Notre Dame. That's primetime game. So for those that don't, you know, those in the Chicagoland area, those across the world that don't stay up late like Scott to watch fucking USC at 2:00 in the morning Eastern time, you got your time to watch Caleb Williams. You got a good weekend of football. We got the CS, you know, the Champion Series starting for both the AL and the NL. So it's feeling like fall out here, even though I'm in Miami. It's rainy. It's, you know, it's not 98 no more. It's like, you know, 78. So it's feeling like fall.
It was a brisk 59 when I woke up in LA this morning. We watching them Bucks tonight though. I'm watching them Bucks tonight though. 59. Yeah, I don't care. We ain't got Florida weather out here. A lot of people think that LA has Florida weather. We do not. It get cold out here, nigga. Dante, anything you want to say before we get up out of here? Your microphone's on mute, brother.
I ain't say shit anyway, but all right.
All right, yeah. He gonna take us out of here, man. We out. Another episode.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna